96, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Dave Woloshin, weekday mornings from 10 to 11. It's time for Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Memphis Hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Renaissance of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Renaissance Sportsworthy and Brian Davis.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. Landon Schmidt producing. We're Sports Time. We're with you for the next 3 hours. A lot to get into today with a lot going on in the sports world. We had Game 5 last night of the NBA Finals. OKC takes a 3-2 lead in the series as we go back to Indiana for Game 6. We've got a lot of Grizzlies news from a lot of different places, a lot of talk happening, and we got to talk about what is next for the Grizzlies. We'll do that later. Got to talk college football, got to talk NFL, College World Series going on right now, what has turned into Game 2 of the day, which was really supposed to be Game 1 after last night's game got stopped because of weather and then postponed to this morning. So a lot to get into over these next 3 hours, but before we do any of it, Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Doing well. Had breakfast in Omaha this morning, didn't we? And now you're right about the order of the games. Arkansas supposed to play UCLA around 6 o'clock tonight. I don't remember. I just, they may have. I just don't ever remember Arkansas and UCLA playing in basketball. Famously played 3 times in college basketball. One in NCAA Finals in 1995 in Seattle. Another one, really the game that put Arkansas on the map as a college basketball program in 1978 on their way to the Final Four, defeating UCLA when they were still mighty UCLA in the regional finals out in Albuquerque to get to the Final Four in St. Louis. And another game that Tiger fans will find interesting. Tiger fans remember the 73 finals, right?
Absolutely.
And what happened that night? Opening night the next year, opening night is defending national champions with Bill Walton back at Pauley Pavilion. UCLA opened the season against a team that was not a national prominent college basketball team in Arkansas and waxed them pretty good at Pauley. And I'm telling you, listening to it on a low-power station out of Little Rock, if I stood just right with the and I was wanting to listen to UCLA after seeing them against the Tigers and everything that they were about. If I pointed the antenna just right on the radio antenna just right and held my mouth just right, you could kind of hear a little bit of crackling noise and discern a score late at night. And that was on opening night of the year. They've met, UCLA and Arkansas met twice in football. First time, Brian, you'll love it, 10-10 tie.
Of course. Gotta love a tie.
Christmas Day, 1978, in the Fiesta Bowl, 10-10 tie. Arkansas got out to a 10-0 lead and really played very uninspired. It was one of those and you didn't even know things like this was happening then. They did not want to be there. It was a team, preseason number 1 on the cover of Sports Illustrated, dropped 2 heartbreakers in the middle of the year. They were playing out the string against UCLA, and then they played Troy Aikman in his final game at UCLA in the Cotton Bowl, and Jerry Jones down on the field scouting that day with Jimmy Johnson said, I think we know who our number 1 pick is going to be, and Troy Aikman put on a show. But they played a night, and it'd be almost impossible for Arkansas to have another pitching performance like that the rest of the Omaha run, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we could be talking about never again in the rest of our days could Arkansas have a performance. I mean, that was just incredible, and seeing some of the stats and nuggets from what we saw yesterday it was incredible to see some of those numbers. So it was great. You're definitely not going to get that again, but hopefully you can get another really good performance from your team and continue rocking if you're Arkansas. I mean, it's going to be a tough one against a good UCLA team.
Either the SEC will be going home or the Big Ten will be going home.
Yeah, which is still weird to say.
I know they haven't met yet as with UCLA and the Big Ten, so this will be a first. Last night, real fun in Indianapolis, and that inspired conversation this morning that a lot of people have picked up on, that Stephen A. Smith, the national talker that he is, and hot takery at its very best, and a shot he took at Memphis that I thought was a pretty cheap shot, wholly unwarranted. It was in no context with anything else. I think he was referring to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler has either played everywhere or passed on everywhere for some reason. He has either already been on a team or in conversation to be dealt to about every team in the league. And there's a common denominator with Jimmy Butler on all those stops.
What's that?
He ain't won jack.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
And I think the Grizzlies did go after him. I think that was the context that was mentioning the furor that's been lit since reminds me a little. I don't know if you remembered it at all during a playoff run year against the Clippers of a L.A. Times columnist, now deceased, former Commercial Appeal sports writer T.J. Simers, and everybody. Up in arms over it. Look, I know we, like a lot of places, we have our issues. We have things that have to be addressed and have to be corrected, and I think we're working on those. I know we are. But it was interesting that in these shots, this shot from Stephen A. Smith, no mention of his beloved New York City, and I have a friend and his daughter in New York right now, and they were at Yankee Stadium last night, and he said you couldn't have paid him any amount of money to take the subway out there. They took Uber out there. That's the prevailing sentiment about New York City. There wasn't anything said about Chicago, where Jimmy Butler has played, and they're number one in a lot of things you don't want to be number one in. And Stephen A. just never got around to his beloved L.A., and I'm pretty sure I've turned on my TV the last 2 weeks to see full-blown riots from L.A.
Yeah, no, it was really weird. We've talked about this before. I do not usually watch ESPN that early in the day. I don't not that I have anything against the shows. I just don't really watch them. But so when I saw the tweets going around, it was a little weird. I was like, why in the world is this even being discussed? Why is it a talking point? And it's one of those things. Look, I think we all know that there are some issues with our city in terms of crime and things that, like you said, there are people in charge that are trying to improve those issues and make things better. But a lot of big cities have issues like that.
A lot of little ones. I've been burglarized twice in Far City.
For sure. I mean,
I've never had an issue one inside. Yeah. Shelby County.
Yeah,
not one.
I mean,
not close to it.
It's just a lot of cities have their issues, and so and I've very few players that have come to Memphis to play for the Grizzlies has ever said anything post their time in Memphis about really hating it or anything along that line.
And not only players, Bryant, I know the legion of people that moved here with the direct move, the short time frame from Vancouver, that a lot are still here. A lot are still here no longer associated with the Grizzlies, and a lot were here for a long time and then went other places that I have kept up with and maintained friendliness at minimum, or friendship at maximum, with a lot of them and other team executives that have all come in and come out, and they all talk about how great the experience was living here and the people. I know of several. That first year, several. I'm talking double digit, not several. I'm talking double digit, maybe up to 15 or 16. I guarantee you, I could rattle their names off if people wanted me to. That they're fresh in a faraway place, a different country, quite literally a different country for them from their home in Vancouver and in Canada, and the number of invitations from a lot of people they didn't know that well. Some kind of strangers, but they knew them. But at holidays, at Thanksgiving, at Christmas, at all the different holidays, Jewish holidays, Easter, any holiday you can think of, that the ones that are still here, they're now regulars at those people's homes for 20-something odd years.
That's great.
And they didn't know them from a jar of Vic Sav when they got here summer of 2001.
Yeah, no, I mean, Memphis is a special place, and I think there are a lot of narratives that can get started outside of Memphis by people that, quite frankly, have not spent enough time in Memphis. And so, it was weird seeing that from Stephen A. I still really don't know why in the world it was brought up or why it became
germane to nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it really didn't make any sense at all, because it was funny because Markieff and Marcus Morris were on the set. And
who both almost signed with John Calipari.
That is true. And I forgot which one he was talking to, and was like, "Do you want to say why Memphis is having a hard time bringing in players?" And he was like, "Well, I mean, I would have loved to play in Memphis. You know, I think that would have been a place that I would have really thrived in." And then he kind of cut him off and was like, "Well, no, this is the reason." And then said what he said and used Jimmy Butler as kind of his example, which was weird. It was a very weird segment and a weird statement by Stephen A. But I would not put too much into it. I just thought it was strange.
No, I wouldn't either. Okay, so maybe Jimmy Butler, maybe Kevin Durant. Okay, well, we got three fingers left over on one hand. Yeah. Maybe one or two more. Okay, let's say that is the reason. Here is the main reason, by and large, most chances in free agency, we either will or won't get a player. Money and a chance to win a championship.
That's right. And that's what Land and I were just talking about that before the show started. I think for a lot of these guys, there's a lot of actual on-court basketball decisions that go into mind, and monetary decisions that go into mind, and just those big markets. If those big markets are going after you, it's a difference of a smaller market and a bigger market. And so I don't know. Very weird stuff from Stephen A. today, and obviously you're seeing the reaction all over the place on social media of Memphis really the city coming together against Stephen A. I mean, Stephen A. #1 enemy right now in the city. So
much for running for president and winning carrying Shelby County.
Yeah, I guess he won't be doing that. That will be a tough draw for him. And I love how they were talking a lot about Memphis this morning instead of the NBA Finals that happened last. I'm sure they spoke a lot about that, but just weird all around.
And Brian, these finals, we were afraid of the TV ratings.
Yep.
And now last night's not in. Friday night's in, and it was modest. It was pretty good. I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. Mm-hmm. I have the TV numbers comparing the NBA Finals to the World Series back to the year 2000.
Okay.
If you want me, and I rounded up and rounded down. Okay, I called. In some cases, I called 15-4 and 15-5, 16.
Yeah.
I might have called a 0.3. I may have rounded down, but to round figures over these. Now we don't have either for this year, Ian. So we have 25 years. We have the year 2000 and then 2001 through 24. That's 25.
Yep.
I promise you. And sometimes people get the count of how old AutoZone Park is. We got to remember we were there in Aud. You got to use 0 as a starting number. Now we weren't there in COVID, but nobody was anywhere in COVID.
That's right.
Through 25 that we have rankings for, I don't think the NBA crowd would really appreciate this or acknowledge this or believe me. But I promise you, Google is free to everyone. Right. And if you don't have it, I promise you can go to the public library, any place around town, and they'll pop you up the Google machine, and it's simple. World Series TV ratings and NBA Finals TV ratings. Mm-hmm. It's no big long form math problem or a geometry problem. It's really simple to figure it out. And over 25 years, the NBA's won 12 times. Baseball's won 12 times, and in 2022, we had a tie.
Wow. All right. I know you loved seeing a tie in there as much as you love ties.
12 million in 2022.
Wow. Yeah, no, I don't think a lot of people would believe you if you laid out those numbers.
I don't know. I don't think they do now. No, trust me, you can go check my work right now at the Google machine.
Yeah, that's the fact checker you need.
If you need veracity, we got it. All right, here's a good example. Okay. In 2000, baseball, and I've said forever, it's kind of a TikTok deal, haven't I, Brian?
Yep, you have.
And so I wanted to just see how TikTok 2000. Baseball won 18-17. 2001, baseball won 24-19. 2002, baseball won 19-16. You can get on into the 21st century. 2011, NBA won 17-16. 2019, NBA won 2019, NBA won 15-14. I mean, it's a coin toss.
Yeah.
I don't think NBA person would ever acknowledge, I mean, stodgy old boring baseball is right there. Their seminal event is right there with the NBA's. And now last year, because of the markets represented, baseball won 15-11. And since 2020, baseball won the year in COVID 10-7, 10 million to 7 million. And they won in 2021 11-10. I mean, that's no blowout. I recognize that. So we got 12-12 a tie, and we got about the same number of 1 or 2 million TikTok, real close years. It's a coin toss. Baseball and the NBA.
That's right. Wow, that's surprising. Those are surprising numbers. I think you're right. I don't think a lot of people would believe those numbers if you laid it out in front of them. But I am curious to see what the ratings are for last night for this series as a whole, and obviously we will get those.
And a Game 7 could really improve things.
Sure could. It definitely could.
And I hope it does.
Yeah, me too. And so, mean a big performance from Indiana in their next game to force that Game 7. We'll talk a ton about last night's game, what happened, what led to that OKC win, and now a big game, Game 6. It could be the last one, or we could see a Game 7. But a lot to get to today. Let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, we're going to talk a lot about the NBA Finals, everything that happened last night. 3:45, we'll talk some Grizzlies, about some of the news coming out, what the Grizzlies will do following this Desmond Bane trade, and maybe even start looking at some of the names for the NBA draft now that they have magically gotten a first-round draft pick for this year. 4 o'clock, Brent Beard from First Coast News in Jacksonville. He'll join us. We'll talk a lot of college football with him. 4:30, we'll get to some baseball, Major League and college, with College World Series going on right now. Louisville up 4-2 over Oregon State in the bottom of the 4th inning. In an elimination game, we'll get a second elimination game later tonight. Arkansas facing off against a UCLA team that lost earlier this morning to LSU. We'll talk a lot of College World Series at 4:30. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Beau Marchant will join us to talk the NFL. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending. And at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Moe's Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together. It's pool time, and Family Leisure is already booking pool installs for 2025. Buy now and get on the list for your pool installation. 2024 pool starting at $19.99 installed, with liners starting at $299. And right now, all pool accessories are up to 20% off. 5-6 person hot tub starting at $69.99 with swim spas and cold plunge tubs now $2,000 off. Don't forget about patio furniture, select sets up to 50% off, and if you mention this ad, get free installation only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
We sure appreciate it, everybody listening. I know a lot of different options out there. Thank you for choosing us. We're Sports Time. We're with you until 6 o'clock, and we want you to weigh in on any of the subject matter out there at the Sissy's Log Cabin talk and text line, 901-360-8255. All our guests will appear on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. It's pool season at Family Leisure, and we're always in our Family Leisure studios. He's Bryant. I'm Brett. Our producer is Landon Schmidt, and this hour is brought to you every day by the only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway. That's Lexus of Memphis. You can visit them online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2025 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2025 flagship LS500, and you'll be driving in style. Give them a call at 901-334-9673. Don't forget, every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for a luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day has got to be Game 5 from the NBA Finals last night. OKC with a 120-109 win over the Pacers, and it was a massive game from Jalen Williams. In his 3rd season in the NBA, he is showing how good of a player he is in one of the biggest games of his entire career. Out there with SGA, everyone knows SGA is going to do SGA things, but what he was able to do last night with 40 points in that game. SGA had 31. Both those guys over 30 points was really incredible, but Jalen Williams was the firepower last night. He was the igniter for that team last night. You saw at different points that defense step up and look like the Oklahoma City Thunder defense that is one of the best we've seen all season, one of the best we've seen in a while, making it really tough for Indiana to get much of anything going. They went back to their two big lineup, Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein both starting. I thought Isaiah Hartenstein, one of his better games in the postseason. Only 4 points, but what he did with 8 rebounds, 4 assists, what he did defensively, I thought a really nice game for him. Thunder win on the other side, though. It was a rough night for Tyrese Halliburton. We know he's been dealing with an injury, but then went down in the first quarter with another injury. This one, a leg injury, a calf injury. Went out for a quick second, came back, but just really could not get anything going at all. Only finished with 4 points, 0 for 6 from the field. Did have 7 rebounds and 6 assists, but obviously they need his scoring, and it was not there last night. Now we'll go to a Game 6 back in Indiana. Will Tyrese Halliburton be able to go? I'm pretty sure, and he said this, if he's able to walk, he's going to be out there on that court. I have to believe that, but we will see what Indiana can do at home to force a Game 7.
My top story, 1 win away. We knew someone would be 1 win away now for Oklahoma City. Hadn't been easy so far, and it won't be easy to get that one more for that 4th win in this series and to be NBA champions. I mentioned TV ratings through 4 games, averaging around 9 million. No number out for last night yet. Maybe it'll be a lot better if it gets pushed to Game 7, but Game 6 coming up. Last year's World Series was around 15 million. Texas and Arizona, the last World Series to be under a 9 million mark. There has never been a time, never, that a World Series has been under 9 million. This NBA Finals could be.
Man, we'll have to wait and see what those ratings look like.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it is NBA related as well, and it has to do with the Memphis Grizzlies. Ever since the Desmond Bane trade, a lot of people, especially the national media, have wondered, could this mean the full tear down, the full rebuild, and a lot of segments being dedicated to where Ja Morant will end up. Well, Ja Morant spoke earlier today on social media, on his Twitter. He put out there and said, talking about Grizz more than the finals with these cap-ass sources. And then he said after that, and I'ma be in the 901 sources, me. So Ja Morant speaking, Ja Morant saying he is.
Who is the source on that?
The cap-ass sources. Is a direct quote from the Ja Morant tweet. And then he stamped it saying he's going to be in the 901 and saying that source comes from
Could you
him.
say he capped it?
Well, he's not capping. Someone else is capping, Brett.
Okay.
Someone else is capping.
I don't know.
He coined it.
He coined it. There you go. You
See, I never know the proper use of cap.
Was he capping?
Other than to put one on.
Well, yes.
Say out of the sun.
One of the rare days I don't have a cap on my head today, Brett. But
so you're no cap.
I'm no cap. Brett. I am.
That's it, Brett.
Always no cap. But yes, in this sense, capping is lying, Brett. Someone out there's capping.
Can't we just say agree or disagree?
Well, what's the fun in that?
Yeah, what's the point of that? My not top story, Jay Monahan. It impacts us here locally. Jay Monahan stepping away as commissioner of the PGA Tour. He was great to and for Memphis. A lot of friends, a lot of close friends, like his good friend Don Colleran, back to their youth. He was much better to us here than Tim Fincham ever was. And he had a lot of friends in Memphis. He had a lot of friends at FedEx. He had a lot of friends at Southwind. But unfortunately for Jay Monahan, his entire tenure as PGA commissioner is going to be defined by three letters, LIV. And the Saudi royal family and Greg Norman and Liv, they got him pretty good. Brian Rolap, fresh from Roger Goodell's NFL office, he's going to be the new commissioner of the PGA. And I've got one admonition for him. Welcome. Can't wait to meet him. And your job is this with Memphis, with FedEx, and with all those friends in the Memphis golf community. This year will be 68 straight years the PGA Tour has found Memphis. We don't need to be the first round. Maybe not the second round or the third round every year. Here's what we got to start doing. I know the Western Golf Association, that is technically the host of the BMW, I know it's old and distinguished and right up there with the USGA. Nobody cares. Nobody explained to you what the Western Golf Association really does. Last we heard about it was really at the Western Open at Butler Country Club when they used to play it annually in Chicago. We got to get in a deal where Memphis is in a regular rotation to ever so often host the finals and host the semifinals with the BMW and with Eastlake and down in Atlanta. Yeah. We don't need to be at first weekend. Memphis has done enough, and Fred Smith and FedEx has done enough. Yep. Brian Rolap, that's your charge.
I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you on that. Well, that will do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we return, we're going to talk a lot about what happened last night in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of area jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Area just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Area boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 11 to join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCUSA church downtown Memphis.
This traffic report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Dodging a few rain showers out here. Some just went through Bartlett a few minutes ago. Again, some wet driving conditions. Just depends on what side of town you're on. Just give yourself extra time as it gets heavier on 240 east from Mill Branch all the way out to 385. Billmore Parkway still moving as you head on out into Collierville. Dandelions, crabgrass, Lawn Solutions here in Memphis says give them a call. They'll take care of that for you. They'll make sure you have the best looking lawn in the neighborhood. Call Lawn Solutions 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck when you're on time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Lone Star Sports Movie and Brian Gates.
Well, last night, Game 5 of the NBA Finals in Oklahoma City. It was a 120-109 win for the Thunder, and it came after an incredible performance by Jalen Williams. 40 points for him, 14 for 25 from the field, 3 for 5 from deep. Really impressive showing for him. Some of the shots he was taking and making late in that game, late in the third, in the fourth quarter, were just unbelievable. Just crazy shots. Oh, I mean, you could tell. I mean, he was locked in the entire night, but really in that second half, down the stretch in the fourth quarter, was incredible. SGA, really good night for him as well. Hard to beat any team when their two best players both have over 30 points, and we saw last night it was not going to happen for the Pacers.
And on the road, and Brian, I said last Friday, I thought it was must-win Friday night in Game 3. Was that 3 or 4? 4. But I thought they had they had to go up 3-1, and they didn't, and now they're in real scramble. I thought the Pacers played well last night. A lot of questions around Rick Carlisle, and he lost it and got a technical, but playing Tyrese Halliburton, should he have?
Oh yeah, I'm
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean you ride with your guy, and in that moment,
if his heart's beating and wants to play, you roll with it.
You got to roll with him, and I think T.J. McConnell, he was really good in the third quarter. I mean, gave them great minutes. You could tell he was getting tired out there. He's a spark guy, and I think
he is.
That spark was starting to wane.
Fade.
It was really starting to fade, and I think you go down in that fourth quarter when things. I mean, we talk about it all the time, especially in playoff basketball and NBA final basketball. Things get tight in the fourth quarter. Those defenses sure up. I mean, it gets real in the fourth quarter, and I just don't know if he would have been as effective late in that game in the fourth quarter as he was in the third quarter. Incredible in the third quarter. He was, must have in the third quarter to keep Indiana in that game. I just don't know if he would have been able to do that over the stretch in the fourth quarter.
And we know the whole reserve thing on the road. He defied that to a bit. T.J. McConnell did with 18 points, and he was a real spark. But at some point, you have to pass that back to the big guys, and the some of the big guys did not come through. Nembhard did not for sure, and I guess we had the one Matherin game.
Yeah, no, it was, a lot of guys that they had out there and for various different reasons. But, you look in that fourth quarter when you need guys to step up and, you look, obviously we know Tyrese Halliburton, 2 points, both came from the free throw line. Andrew Nembhard, 0 points. Aaron Nesmith, 5 points. Miles Turner, 2 points. It was really Pascal Siakam or nothing out there in the fourth quarter. You just need more than that, especially with how well OKC was playing last night. And really, a lot of those possessions in the fourth quarter, I mean, it was either they were super sped up and just looked very uncomfortable out there, or it was just great defense and resulting in either turnovers or bad shot attempts. A lot of times it was all three put together. I was really impressed. I have been impressed with the defense by OKC, but last night, just again, really impressive what they're able to do on the defensive end.
And we saw that defense in the games, regular season and playoffs, all 4, 2 in Memphis, 2 in Oklahoma City. We saw that, and they are ahead 3-2 in this series because of the defense. But everybody's going to talk about 40 and 31 from your two stars, and not a lot else from anyone else. But you got to ride your stars. One thing I have loved about this series, a couple things I've loved about this series, Brian, is this. A couple of times when it could get real edgy, real testy. And once last night they got tied up for a loose ball and had to jump it off. You know, kind of a high elbow went out, chicken wing went out from one to the other. A lot of series that would be the flashpoint. That would be, you know, here we go and hold me back and all that. You haven't had that. I think these teams really respect each other, and they're pretty mirror. Oklahoma City has more, but I think coaching philosophy, team building, I think they're a lot alike, and it's been a series of respect.
Yeah, no, it has been. That's a really good point by you, and I think that goes to, I mean, look at these coaches. I mean, I think those are two coaches that really respect each other. Obviously, a guy like Rick Carlisle, you know, he's going to have his guys like, hey, we need to lock in on the game itself, not anything extra. You look at some of the star players on these teams, some of the veterans on this team. I mean, you've got guys like, look, you know, if I'm on Indiana, I don't need to worry about trying to push or shove anything. I've got James Johnson on my bench. I just point down to him, and he comes out, and everything
clears
stops.
out the whole house.
You know, I mean, so you got him. You got T.J. McConnell, who's a guy that, you know, is very, you know, calm, cool, and steady, and I think that just kind of flows throughout that Indiana Pacers team. On the other side, you know, for OKC, you know, it just feels like they're out there to play basketball, and that's one thing that I really love about this OKC team is, you know, it just feels like they're a bunch of hoopers, and they just want to go out there, play basketball. They really don't want all of the extra stuff in between plays or in between anything.
And I appreciate that it hadn't been that. And a lot of times in the finals, you don't get as much of that as that day in, day out grind of that, you know, that late January game when everybody
Tuesday in February.
Yeah, everybody's kind of mad at everybody, tired of seeing everybody, you know, trying to get to the All-Star break or get to the playoffs at the end of the year. And I can't stand it when we've had, not a lot of times, but we've had, you know, some of those where one player maybe tries to go through the hallway, you know, back areas. If you want to see that, especially in a playoff series, you can see him tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock at the building.
That's right.
He's going to be out there getting up shots and working with an assistant coach, getting stretched out. If you're that mad and you want a piece of him, save it to 5 tomorrow afternoon. You can see him all you want.
Oh yeah, no, it's a lot of theatrics out there, and you see that a lot. But no, it does feel like both these teams really, really respect each other, and it's been a fun series, you know, and it's been a good one.
Are you familiar with the play? I think it was Hartenstein and Bradley that kind of did it late in the game.
Yeah, no, it was. You're absolutely right about that, and it was, you know, it looked like.
And they calm heads prevail. They both looked at each other like, we're playing ball.
Sure, yeah.
Are you okay? I'm okay. Let's go.
There was a second where it felt like, okay, this could start the pushing and shoving, and then very quickly
the get back coaches were in position.
That's right, and then very quickly, you know, everything was fine. And
if you noticed at playoff games, and I did in Memphis. I don't know their exact role, but they're almost embedded like plain clothes in the building along the baselines.
Interesting.
And in the Super Bowl, you have referees running off the field. I call them the bouncers. Maybe we need that at every game.
Yeah. Give me a bunch of bouncers out there. I like that. I like that a lot. So yeah, no, I did not notice that, but that does not surprise me very much. But no, just a you know, another impressive game by OKC and what they're doing. You're right. I mean, when you get 70 some odd points from two players, you know, hey, you don't really need much from really anybody else. Those two guys were awesome. But you know, I mentioned it earlier, you know, I thought what Isaiah Hartenstein did last night, especially in that first quarter, I mean, he was really big in that first quarter. Came up with some big offensive rebounds, had a couple of assists. They got him involved extremely early. I think first possession, he had the first points of the game for OKC. I thought he had a really nice game. Just all around, really impressive performance from OKC.
Brian, I concede the basketball picks to you. We went into the finals tied. We had the tiebreaker.
How about that?
Total points in the series. I went with a number that I thought would suit 4-1 Oklahoma City. I went with 1050. That was kind of 110 to 100 5 times. That's what I was kind of thinking. You went with a much bigger number. You went with 1410. Yeah. We're at 1128 through 5 games. Right. So victory is in hand. Yeah. Raise the banner.
Yeah, see, I think we both went along the same logic of how to get to our final number. I think I just had more points per game
Well, that was the object. You won.
Yes, but I do think
There's been more.
I think I did 5 games. I think mine.
Oh, you did. You factored it by 5.
Think
okay.
mine was either 5 or 6. It certainly wasn't 7. I know that for a fact. I think it was.
And it still can go 7. This is not over at all.
No. It absolutely can go to 7.
Oklahoma
Obviously,
City's in a very great position.
Absolutely.
Everybody would trade with them.
Yes, I mean they are in the position you want to be in. But again, we have seen, Indiana has not backed down at all. They can definitely win at home, and we could definitely see that happen in Force Game 7. I think the biggest thing is now, what is the status on Tyrese Halliburton? I mentioned it. If he's able to walk, I'm sure he's going to be out there and trying to give it a go. But now seeing news of, going to have some MRIs to see the severity of this injury he suffered last night. Shams reported that earlier today. That's going to be the big thing because Tyrese Halliburton is their go-to guy. I mean, he is the bloodline of that team. And if he is not able to go, if he struggles again like this, it's going to be hard for them. But we saw last night, even with him going 0 for 6 and only finishing with 4 points, it was a 2-point game with 8.5 minutes left in that game. And then OKC turned up the
on a dreadful night for your star. Has he accomplished superstar status out of this series?
I mean, he's really close. I
Certainly
think.
more known.
Yeah, I think certainly star level.
Olympics helped last August.
Absolutely, and he's a guy that's a lot different. He's not going to go out there. I've seen the arguments, and I have friends that will argue with me of, he's not going out there and averaging 30 points a game. And yes, that's true, but he's more of a pure point guard or a pure playmaker, I guess you could say, than kind of what you would imagine. The way he's able to facilitate, the way he's able, his passing abilities. I wouldn't put him in superstar yet.
Did you hear Richard Jefferson's comparison last night to him to a young Jason Kidd?
Really? I like that a lot.
That Jason Kidd was he was too pass first. That his unselfishness was selfish early in his career.
I like that comparison a lot, and it's kind of the same with Tyrese Halliburton. He a lot of times will give the ball up and pass it around, but I think he's a great player, and he's a really fun player to watch. I think both these guys, I've heard a lot, and we talked about this a lot before the finals even started about SGA and foul merchant and whatever, and I've heard a lot of people kind of knocking the stars on both of these teams in the finals. I think these are two terrific players. I think they're two extremely fun players to watch, and I've really enjoyed seeing them play in this finals.
Bryant, you know another thing, almost the Stephen A. story, a little bit of the Pete Thamel story yesterday, a little bit of the picking at Doris Burke and Richard Jefferson that I found to be plenty fine and entertaining and informative and doing a good job. They're not doing anything that's as bad as some of the stuff I'm reading. I think you can sweep all 3 of those stories into something called June.
Yep. That's where we're at. It's that month. It's just kind of it's talking month.
Yeah.
It's let's create stories month, and they're certainly doing that. I guess they're certainly making headlines if that's what they want. But no, I think whatever happens in this next game, I'm super interested to see. I think Indiana's still in a fine spot where they can definitely go out there and win at home and force games.
John Morant's sentiment is correct. These NBA talkers talk about your finals in front of you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maybe that would promote that number a little bit, those ratings numbers.
I mean, look, I know that the Desmond Bane trade was big, and it was the first big trade of the NBA offseason, but that happened Sunday morning. We just had an NBA Finals game last night, and we're talking about the most trending, and obviously it's trending here because we're in Memphis, and they were talking about Memphis, but the most trending thing I've seen today out of First Take this morning was what Stephen A. had to say about Memphis in a segment talking about the future of the Memphis Grizzlies instead of anything anybody had to say about the NBA Finals last night. I think that's a shame because, yes, these are two smaller market teams, but I do think two really fun teams and two really, really good teams.
Now, haven't I read that they're diminishing his NBA role some going forward with the new contracts and stuff? The TNT crew will be more the go-to ESPN crew.
You're talking about Stephen A. Yeah, I think that is what's going to happen, and obviously
he's going more football.
I think that's true. I think.
Or the good people in Dallas will love that.
Well, yeah, no, the Cowboys are gonna be thrilled if he's talking more football. But I think that is right because it sounds from everything it sounds like is that the TNT crew is going to come over and do the full pregame, postgame like they do on TNT, and so that would certainly change things with that ESPN crew. And so yeah, it sounds like
would that affect Kendrick Perkins?
Certainly could a little bit. I don't know in what sense and how much. I know they use him a lot, throughout the day and in different ways on ESPN during the NBA season. So I don't know, but it's going to look a lot different next year. I mean, what we're seeing, we might see it one more time, we might see it two more times, is going to look a lot different next year, I think.
I saw a story today, some role out there that he wants it. Al Michaels play-by-play, and who was the analyst? It was a really good team. I thought
really?
that would be fun. But man, Al Michaels is up there.
Yeah, he is. That is true.
I mean, he may cut a great deal in his private plane town to town, but
yeah.
Can't imagine him wanting to lob around baggage claim.
No, you're getting to the point where maybe start working towards taking things off the plate instead of adding more to the plate. But that would be.
I'm gonna hit the Al Michaels age at the Google machine. See, it's free to everybody. Even I have it.
And it's quick too. I mean, you're gonna have it, and you're gonna have the answer in 2 seconds.
Born in 44,
Whew.
so 81.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd be making more deals. I'd be start looking, if I'm not already looking towards retirement, I'd be looking towards retirement.
Be 81 in the fall, but
wow. Still.
For insurance purposes, he's 81.
And for purposes of whenever this new contract starts.
For purposes of everything hurting, he's 81.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be doing that. But hey, Al, do your thing. If that's what you want to do, go for it. I'll be watching. I'll be listening. I'll definitely. Anytime Al Michaels is on a call, I'll be tuned in.
I can't imagine him needing the cash.
No,
I mean,
certainly
not.
not. No, I mean that'd be a shocker.
It would be sad.
It would be very sad.
And surely not.
Sure, I would sure hope not. But that is. I mean, I'd love it.
At some point, I don't know the exact demarcation. I don't think I'm there yet. You're doing it for a couple reasons. You need the cash. Cool.
Sure.
Okay. You can't live without it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. That may be it.
Yeah.
Or your ego's so big it needs to be in the Thanksgiving Macy's parade.
Yeah, that's the third option, and that's a very real option for a lot of people. It's the one that's the least talked about, but it is definitely there. So going to be a lot of fun to see what happens Thursday night in Game 6, and I'm hoping we get more information on Al Michaels and what he's doing in his future. But we got to get to another break. When we come back, we'll talk a bit about the Grizzlies. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Pools, and more pools. Yes, it is pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure is already booking pool installs, so you need to buy now and get on that list. 24-foot pools start at $19.99 install. Liners are starting at $2.99. You're going to need some pool accessories, so they're all up to 20% off. Not quite ready for a pool? That's fine. Get a 5 or 6 person hot tub starting at under $7,000. You can also go for a swim spa or perhaps a cold plunge tub. Those are now $2,000 off. Get patio furniture up to 50% off on select sets. Buy your pool now. Get on that install list. Mention this commercial, and your install is free. It's underlined in the in-bold print, so you know it's big. It's pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together. Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery instead of dependable service and no long-term contracts. An easy choice. Call Jeff Matus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call them 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, resident Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home in Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Automobile Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? We have it covered at Humdinger. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. Many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Elwood Shack in the Lowe's parking lot on summer just keeps getting bigger and better. Bigger because now there's a second Elwood Shack at 4040 Park across from the University of Memphis. And better because you can get breakfast every day at both Elwoods. There's the barbecue breakfast burrito, either beef brisket or pork shoulder, and pancake biscuits made fresh daily. Real house-made pancakes, apple and bacon, French toast, and more. And the new Elwood's even has a real coffee bar serving fresh roasted J. Brooks coffee. Elwood Shack, now with 2 locations and open every day for you.
So you need to sell your house? I have your solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses, any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. It's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill and I buy houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill 901-406-1101. Bill and I buy houses.
Now, back to Sports Time. Sports Business. This hour is brought to you by Lexus Service. Here are your hosts, Let's Talk Sports with Brian Davis.
Well, it's been a eventful day for the Memphis Grizzlies, and nothing's really happened. We had Stephen A. We talked about that a lot to start the show. We also had John Morant tweeting today saying he is not going anywhere, trying to put to rest some of the national conversations about the future of the Memphis Grizzlies. But we do know it is going to be a very busy offseason for the Grizzlies. We already know one domino has fallen, and that was Desmond Bane. I don't know if you saw today, but Desmond Bane getting photos taken in Orlando in the Magic jersey, and I'll be honest, it was weird to see. It was weird seeing him in an Orlando Magic jersey.
Good luck to him.
Oh yeah, no, I'm excited to see what he can do for Orlando. I think really fits that team well. But now
he was a good Grizzly.
He was a really good Grizzly.
That's it. There wasn't anything great about it.
He was a really good player. It was just postseason results did not go the team's way at all in his tenure here. But now we know more dominoes are going to fall. We know more moves are to be made, and we know now Grizzlies have a first-round draft pick, at least for right now, and we'll see. Do they use it? Do they deal
Who
it?
are you taking at 16?
Brad, I'll be honest. It was kind of news to me that I needed to do draft prep for the Grizzlies.
Right.
So I've not really figured out who you're taking at 16.
It's a lot of options at 16.
A lot of options at 16, and I don't know how much of them they're good options, but none that I'm screaming for.
How much do we trust Zach Kleiman with any pick after Zaire, after LaRavia, after Roddy?
Yeah.
Okay, we think Jalen Wells pretty good, and we know Desmond Bane was pretty good.
Yeah.
I said yesterday, you can make a case. The the two best moves Zach Kleinman's made was drafting Bain and trading Bain.
Yeah, no, that was a great point when you made it yesterday. I've been thinking a lot about that, and I think it's pretty accurate.
It worked drafting.
Oh, yeah, it certainly
and
worked.
It sure better work trading him.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I mean, it was a huge swing. It was a huge trade. And now we'll see what the Grizzlies do with it. ESPN put out a mock draft earlier today, an updated mock draft, with the Grizzlies making the move and being at number 16. They have the Grizzlies selecting Jace Richardson, the guard from Michigan State, who had a pretty good season for Michigan State last year.
Son of, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously brother played at Oklahoma. Also
Dad almost drafted by the Grizzlies.
Yeah, so
one of the up there with Draymond Green and great workouts.
Well, hey, it's all about those workouts.
It is.
So
back when we all could go.
That's right. Things a lot different back then, I guess. Wow, that's hard to believe now that
Jace Richardson, I think, would be a really good piece, nice component for a team going for it in 2029.
Yeah. I think that's pretty. I think it's pretty accurate.
John Jarrett, I don't think really want to wait that long, nor the fans.
No, and that's the thing. I don't really love that mock. There are some pieces.
Who's 15 and who's 17?
So 17 is Thomas Sorber, the center from Georgetown. And then
they won't do that.
No, probably not. I wish. I don't mind that. I wouldn't mind that pick at all. But then the 15 is Colin Murray Boyles from South Carolina, the forward center, kind of a smaller guy that could, probably
another great
20,
29 or 30 move.
That's right. So I just I don't know. I'm looking at some of the picks behind. Asa Newell, could be a good piece. Will
Bet
Riley.
I know who one is.
Oh yeah, no, one's pretty easy. One and two are pretty easy. After that is when things get really sideways. So I don't know. I'm still I still don't know if I think they're going to make that pick at 16. I think it's either move somewhere else in the draft and or trade that pick completely and get out of the draft, because I think you're right, Brett. I think some of those options are more down the road, guys that can help you in the long term. But we'll have to see. We know moves are coming. It's just when. We talked yesterday with Michael Cole, and he made it sound like some moves could be coming soon. Well, we need to get to another break and wrap up this first hour. And when we return, we're switching gears. Got to talk college football. Brent Beard from First Coast News down in Jacksonville. He'll join us. Got to talk a lot of college football as we're getting closer and closer to the football season. We're getting closer to media days that will get started here in a little less than a month. We'll talk a lot of college football next with Brent Beard.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. Miramichi is now open on Mondays, and you'll find the lowest rate is on Thursday. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your nature-made vitamins?
Every day. Multivitamin and a probiotic.
Still looking out for me?
I'll be there still. To care for you every day. Nature-made. The #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us at Walmart. Based on a survey of pharmacies who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield repair, jobs, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With two conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places.
For over 60 years.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A couple of wrecks in their clearing stages. Busy right where you would expect this time of day through Midtown. On 240 southbound at South Parkway, I-40's trying its best to get a little bit busy here at Danny Thomas as you head across the I-40 bridge on over into West Memphis. As traffic picks up even more to the south of Memphis on 55 down through DeSoto County. Weimer's Jewelry serving the Memphis area now for over 40 years. Go by and see them, especially this bridal season. That's Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. College football talk every Tuesday with Brent Beer, Heisman voter, and on Twitter X at Brent Beer. SEC, ACC, AAC. We talk it all with Brent. Here's Brent Beer with Brian and Brent.
Brent Beer joins us now from First Coast News down in Jacksonville to talk some college football. Brent, thanks so much for joining us today. A lot to get to as we slowly get closer and closer to the upcoming season. I guess let's start with the news around Lenora Sellers, maybe the biggest name in college football right now. The news coming out that he turned down a deal for up to $8 million to transfer out of South Carolina. What do you make of that story, and what do you expect to see from Lenora Sellers this upcoming season?
Well, we've beginning to see more and more of these stories. Mm-hmm. Frankly, I mean, Sellers certainly is he's a real talent. I'm concerned, do they have enough around him as far as people who can stretch the field? And I'm not, and frankly, I'm not sure that they do. That's a problem. Now, Sellers was offered 8. People may have missed this, but Diego Pavia of Vanderbilt said he was offered $4 million. Mm-hmm. So the money.
Do we believe those numbers? First of all, guys,
no,
I don't either.
I really don't.
Now, if somebody wants to pit me against Lenore Sellers' dad, Mr. Sellers, I'm just going to say right now I don't believe that.
Yeah, I really don't either. And look, I know they
I need a little documentation.
Yeah. Well, and obviously that's not going to be forthcoming because I don't think some of that was in writing. But
y'all know Lenora Sellers has gone over 300 yards in his career passing. Would you like to take a stab at it, either of y'all?
I'm good.
Over 300 yards. I'm going to say 0.
Two times, one against Wofford and one in the late season win last year against Mizzou. He has 20 touchdown passes in 2 years of college football.
Listen, I don't care if it's Anthony Richardson or Jalen Milroe or Lenore Sellers. There is guys, how would you describe it? Coaches, scouts, they love these dual threat guys, and their ability to make a play with their legs really puts these players, whether they deserve it or not. And again, I'm not being critical against them. I'm just saying and I'm with Brett here. I just temper some of this adulation that's going on because I really think that media coaches and people who watch these guys, they just get mesmerized with the fact that they can break a play and go 75 yards in almost any time, and they overlook some of the passing situations. Is that fair?
It is fair, Brent, and you are a very fair person. And the examples, they always want to trot out. They either want to use Cam Newton or Johnny Manziel.
Yes.
That's top of the heap, guys, that you're comparing for college football players, other people to. Cam Newton went on and did it as well in the NFL. I think he's Canton bound. He should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. More times than not, though, instead of having Cam Newton, we have Jeremy Johnson.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
A lot of people right now don't remember Jeremy Johnson because he was so bad. They caught Gus Malzahn on the sideline going, "What in the world is he doing?"
Well, and Brent, I know you remember this, and Brian, you may too. But Jeremy Johnson, when he came out, look, and I'm being facetious here, but I'm not. There were people thought he was going straight to the NFL. We didn't play college ball that he was that good.
And was going to locker right beside Shea Patterson.
Yeah, yes. So, Brian, I appreciate the question. I understand the excitement of all this. Now, he was offered $8 million over 2 years, so I guess that's $4 each.
Yeah.
If my Alabama math is correct.
It is. Very good.
So, but still.
Put your shoes back on.
Yeah. I just, Lord.
Of course,
today,
with the
Brian.
stereotype, if you have shoes, Brent.
Yes, he's sharp today, Brian. Okay,
Yes, he's locked in.
Yeah. If his mother was here, she'd have a few words to describe it too.
It'd be choice, I can assure you.
Yes. But
I don't have Lenore Sellers as my number 1 or 2 SEC quarterback. I already got all my list done, Brian.
Yeah,
I
got quarterbacks, stadiums, head coaches, top 10 games for the year. I think by the end of the year, here's a Stephen A. take. You ready for it, Brian?
Give me a bold take, Brett.
Here's hot take. By the end of the year, Keelan Russell at Alabama will be more effective at quarterback than Lenore Sellers.
Well, it could be. It could be. Look, I still think that, and I've seen all kinds of quarterback lists right now from different guys, and I think the more I don't know, I just can't get over the. I appreciate the dual threat guys, but I just think the John Mateers at Oklahoma, even Arch Manning, particularly Garrett Nussmeier. I just think those guys, maybe, and I'll throw Austin Simmons in there. To me,
I'll throw Papia in there.
Yeah, absolutely. To me, as much as I love a quarterback who can run, I remember Bobby Douglas with the Chicago Bears, but you couldn't throw a lick.
But he could run over you.
He could, absolutely. He could play linebacker if he wanted to. But the reality for that is, I just have a lot more trust in guys who are accurate throwing the ball than I do being an average passer and can run 75 yards on any play.
You know, I think Bobby Douglas was at KU at the same time as John Riggins. You talking about two tough guys.
Good. Now, can you imagine that?
That would try.
Wow.
I mean, they loved running over somebody. Brent Beard's our guest. He's on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Let's stay with quarterbacks in the SEC. You mentioned a couple of them. We've got a lot of people that are the same with returning quarterbacks. When I go through this list, I don't know anybody that you can point to and say they're better going into 2025 at quarterback than they were last year. I mean, you can't say Ole Miss is better with Austin Simmons. They may end up being a year or two, but we're talking about the 2025 season. I mean, you knew what you had in Jackson Dart. I don't know that you can say, how can you say emphatically Texas is better with Arch Manning than Quinn Ewers? Quinn Ewers took them to the national semis, won a lot of ball games, played hurt, played busted up, had the big win over Alabama in Tuscaloosa 2 years ago. You got how can you say Gunnar Stockton is better than Carson Beck?
Yeah, there's no way to do it. I mean, that there's just not enough of a sample size either. And people may have forgotten this, but Zach Calzade's at Kentucky. Now, Zach Calzade's had a couple of chances to win jobs and stay the quarterback, and I'm not sure he's going to do that much more for them. Now, I will say, if DJ Lagway's healthy, he's got the potential to be really good.
Yeah, they're better than opening day last year.
Yeah. But I tell you what, Bryant, to go along with this theme that we've started so far in the conversation, I think Marcel Reed's the same way. I think Marcel Reed is an exciting runner, but he's a guy I think that needs to go a long way in improving his passing.
And talking about yesterday, I had the Jeremy Johnson ended up not being Cam Newton. Imagine that.
Yes.
Here's another one. Brent, doesn't it feel like Ty Simpson has been there, and we don't really know that he's better than John David Phillips?
No, we really don't. No. Now, look, if they'd had a John David Phillips last year with Milroe, they would have probably been better off. But no, we don't know that.
Who was our buddy in recruiting back then, when it was very heated over everything, and he said John David Phillips was going to be better than Peyton Manning?
Oh yes, yes.
Who was it? Was it Lee Davis?
You've got the Davis right.
What Lee was it? What was good guy too? I'm sorry, but he said John David. Brian, that's a swing and a miss.
That's
isn't
a miss right there. Yeah,
I'll think of it in a minute because he was from Birmingham. He put out a magazine.
Bama through and through. Can you imagine?
And listen, he was, and it was for a short period of time, but he was the guy.
He was
until.
He was the homer. He even compared Joel Holiday from 6 Mile, South Carolina, to John Hanna. Remember that, Brent?
Yeah. Oh my. Yes, and I'll think of it before we get off the segment here, or I'll text you with it at about 10 o'clock. But but yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, it'll come to you eventually, there, Brett. Yes. Well, at some point. You mentioned Diego Pavia. I don't know if I have seen a coach and a player that has more confidence in their team than Clark Lee and Diego Pavia. Diego Pavia on a podcast earlier today saying that that Vanderbilt will run the state of Tennessee. We know Clark Lee has already promised big things as head coach at Vanderbilt. What do you expect from Vanderbilt this season? We know last year, really good story, a much better team than what we had seen in years past. Obviously, bringing your starting quarterback back is good. They made some noise in the transfer portal. What do you expect from this Vanderbilt team this year?
I think as long as Diego is a quarterback, they've got a chance to win, unless they're just really overmatched. Again, the problem with Vanderbilt is by the time you get around in November, they've got enough attrition to where that causes them a lot of problems. My brother Brett, not this brother Brett, but mine. My brother in Huntsville does radio there. Had a really good quote about Pavia. He uses it all the time, that Pavia is death by 1,000 paper cuts. He's probably not going 70 yards, and he's probably not throwing a 70-yard pass, but he's going 3, 4, 5, then he's going 6, 2, and then 4, and he'll do that down the field. And you know what, guys? Those 20-play, 80-yard drives, or there's as many points that you score in that drive as you do if you get one for 80.
Yeah, and I think Pavia is really solid, a great quarterback for a lot of people in the league. But your ceiling is pretty low with him. I don't think you're winning, and sure not at Vanderbilt. I don't think you're winning more than about 7 games. I texted our buddy Pat Smith down at Jocks in Birmingham. We were right. It was Lee Davis. He texted me back immediately.
Yeah,
Brent, that's who it was. I saw a tweet today. It should go in the Tweet Texas Hall of Fame if they have one in the football office at Texas. And Texas really could have tweeted this out. But way before there was even Twitter, they could have tweeted this out in back-to-back years. Most of my life, this is the tweet from Inside Texas. That's at Inside Texas if you want to follow along. Texas is the best team in the country. They are projected to be the best program over the next 2 seasons, according to ESPN's Adam Rittenberg. So Texas they're claiming we're the best for the next 2 years. They could have claimed any 2 years the last 60 and said that. And in that time, they have 2 national championships, one with Vince Young's Superman performance and one when most of America was still watching college football on black and white TVs.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, it just came to me, Forrest Davis. What was the other guy in Birmingham who put out
they were a duo, weren't they?
It had a magazine, and I knew it'd come to eventually. But one thing that also came about over the last few days that not a whole lot is said about, since you said it, for that Texas also won the Directors' Cup. For basically the All-Sports Trophy.
Okay.
Beat out Southern Cal and Stanford.
Right.
Now, Stanford has about, how many, Brett? About 35 sports maybe or something like that.
They got a lot of Directors' Cups.
Yeah.
Do you build a Hall of Fame wing for Director Cups? I was at an event a few years ago. It was real fun. I want to say, first and foremost, it was real fun. And he told me before the event started, I'm at a big function. I mean, it's 99% Razorback fans there, okay?
Wow.
And beforehand, and nicely, fun night. Hunter Yurchek told me, he said, I'm at to zing you pretty good from the dais. I said, okay. I feel like, man, I was outnumbered.
Oh, man.
And and this is in the fall of 22. So in June of 22, Ole Miss had won the College World Series and had defeated Arkansas twice, lost to them once in Omaha as well, but defeated them twice, sent them home, won the 2 out of 3, 2-0 sweep over Oklahoma. But so this is fall of 22, and and he's got the crowd razzed up, and he goes, and we won the SEC Directors' Cup this year, and Ole Miss, they finished 8th or 9th. So, and everybody kind of hee-hawing and poking at me. And from the crowd, I started chanting, Omaha, like Peyton Manning with the Gators.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. Yeah. Director's Trophy. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's something.
You got a special place for that in the athletics department?
I don't know. I guess notable, but that's about it.
I think they ought to call that trophy, we're good in everything but football.
Well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'd be a lot. Yeah, there'd be a lot of Aggie fans, even though they didn't beat them. That they would enjoy the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be the perfect trophy for A&M, isn't it?
Oh man.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and then Texas fans would retort by saying,
"But Texas has been good.
The 8-4 trophy would be for A&M."
Mm-hmm.
But to be claiming we're going to be the end all be all the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really. Yeah. Well, I mean, Sark's done a nice job, and there's no question they've got a lot of talent. Obviously, they went deep in the playoffs, but still, this league is a proven league, and Texas is going to have to do that consistently.
You mentioned some of these other sports. I saw this and thought it was interesting from Ross Dellinger earlier today. It says, interesting development today. UL Monroe cuts its tennis program, and Washington State cut the field portion of its track program. Jamie Gordon, CEO of the Volleyball Coaches Association, said last month that 32 D1 Olympic sports teams have been cut since settlement announcement. It's coming, and it's already started at some universities. And I mean, Washington State, I know, obviously
and it's
things are
unfortunate.
different. It's very unfortunate,
but it's the times.
Washington State is not the same as UL Monroe. I mean, that's a big university.
Monroe's AD, John Hartwell, a real good guy, was one of the lieutenants in the athletics department at Ole Miss under Pete Boone with Keith Carter and Danny White and Alan Green. Really a good group. He's really a good guy, and I know he regretted doing it. But Brent, it's simple economics, isn't it?
Well, unfortunately, it is. I don't like it at all, and it's incredibly unfortunate. But it is. Yes. Look, well, we're going to have to still on July 1 when all this money is distributed. We're going to have to wait and see where a lot of that the trickle down effect to it is. But that's a real concern. It really is, and we've got a lot more of those to go, and that's why we're still seeing a lot of this expansion going on. I know there obviously we had the big article about that for the Pac-12 still adding schools. I know you guys saw the Memphis situation, but Memphis being question about what happens to Memphis next, and in schools like that. So this expansion will be very it will be very active, but it's still going to be happening over the next few years too.
It was pure stunning to see the list of SEC quarterbacks that will be camp counselors at the Manning Passing Academy.
Yes.
Shocking to see Texas quarterback Arch Manning at the Manning Passing Academy, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Listen, that is a fascinating situation.
It
the
sure
Manning
is.
camp is going on.
It's been a force for good for football.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It really has. Now, what people and it's easy to forget this, but besides the Manning camp, they've got the Louisiana Lion camp, which is
that's the one I want to go to.
Oh yeah,
you know they're screaming and cussing and crazy. It is.
Yeah, they are.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, they've got in.
Do they have blocking sleds at it?
Good question.
Well, I hope so.
Oh man,
they do. It may be the Oklahoma drill the whole time. Is what
I don't think I've ever met
to.
a sane O-line coach. Have you, Brent?
No.
I love him. My favorite coach on every staff. I promise.
I would enjoy just being a fly on the wall. They do this at some point. All those folks are together, or even when they kind of get ready to go to bed, they're sitting around and they're telling stories and things like that. I'd give anything to hear that.
Well, they said a couple of years ago at the Manning Passing Academy, they invited and he accepted, and he came down and treated with all due accord. But now the most fashionable room there is a dorm room, and so they had it for Coach Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
and he packed really light. You can tell by his wardrobe. He packs light. And after about 2 or 3 days, he very sheepishly went up to Peyton and said, "Hey Peyton, I packed light, and I need a washing machine." He said, "Coach, you've won 6 Super Bowls. We can get you clothes washed for you."
Yeah, I bet.
It's the least we can do for you, Coach.
Yeah, yes, but seriously, I would just think that'd be unbelievable to hear all what these guys had to say, and talk about different guys and so forth. So
it would be great.
Oh yeah,
and I'm sure the Mannings. And look, I didn't know this. They were somebody in Orlando offered them to move that camp. Listen, that would not be the same camp, would it, if it was moved out of the state of Louisiana?
No, and it's why in the early days of it, and they were really, I know you'll remember this name, the late Buddy Tevens was coach at Tulane.
Yeah, for Tulane,
and real tight with all of them, and he wanted the camp at Tulane, but they thought that New Orleans would be too big a distraction, so they kind of wanted to go hide at Thibodaux.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, and they've handed it. They've handed it.
And only Johnny Manziel's been sent home. What a dubious distinction!
Badge to wear with pride for Johnny Manziel.
And Brent, remember, I think he gets tossed. The Manning Pass Academy used to be in July. The NCAA made everybody move camps up before July 1st. And Johnny gets tossed, and then was at SEC Media Days that next week, and was really getting battered with questions about it. And he took the high road. He knew he had dug a deep hole.
Yeah. Oh yes, absolutely. And by the way, it's still about 10 days away or so, but yes, it's coming around. And look, I cannot even imagine what the humidity and the heat would be for that. But I'm sure they take care of the campers. But listen, when you can get
Gatorade takes care of them. With the Manning
I'm sure
boys.
They do. But when you
pretty good pitchman for them,
no question. When you can get the virtually the majority of the starters of the Southeastern Conference can be your camp counselors, that's pretty impressive, frankly.
And I don't know exactly what they call it, but one of the last nights they have kind of the big throwing contest of the counselors.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they call it air it out. I'm not for sure what they call it, but that's the one that Joe Mixon, the ball's still going.
Yeah.
He impressed everybody so much with the throw. Now, he didn't know where it was going most of the time.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun to see how Arch Manning's arm, stacks up with the rest of the SEC arms.
Well, it will. Oh, yeah. And if you can get some truth coming out of there, and people willing to be transparent about it, that would be great to hear.
It'll get out.
Oh, yeah, at some point. And, do they? I'm being facetious here, but maybe I'm not. But I mean, do they put a garbage can, guys, 60 yards down the field, and see how many guys can put a ball in there or something like that?
I'm not for sure, but it would be fun to go to. And you're right about the heat. Anything from about April to Christmas south of I-10, it's going to be juicy.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that. And look, you can imagine that the Mannings are a class family. I'm sure they run that right, and I bet they've got that thing organized. I'm sure they have fun, but I'm sure they've got that thing very well organized too.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Well, Brent, always a lot of fun having you on. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
Well, I've got two Lindy's magazines now, the SEC and the overall one, and we're waiting on Phil Steele, but it's great. Great to have the magazines out, too.
You're $100 deep into the magazines this year, Brent.
hey, and let me tell you what the money's for. The money's for putting the gas in the car to go search for them and to be able to get out the door before I get arrested for stalking. So that's a lot of it.
Yeah.
Good stuff,
Brent. Got to pay to play. Thanks, Brent.
That's right. Thank you, guys.
Brent Beard with us every week talking college football. And if you want that perfect, affordable All-Star Chevy Equinox, right now is the time to get it at All-Star Chevrolet. The big summer sale, financing down to 6.6% for 72 months for that All-Star Chevy Equinox. New 25 Silverados with $6,500 cash back with financing down to 2.9 for 36 months. Go big and get a new Silverado 2500 HD with financing as low as 3.9 for 60 months and not a single payment for 90 days. Your good credit deserves it. You get it at All-Star First Exit When you cross into Mississippi on Highway 78, take Kraft Goodman Road, and you're there with Drew DePriest and his great team at All-Star Chevrolet. If you're law enforcement, first responder, healthcare worker, educator, recent grad, an extra $500 bonus back. A lot of recent grads take advantage of that. All the certified and pre-owns you can imagine, like a Corvette Stingray and Tahoes and Silverados, more than you'll find in any one place anywhere in our area. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star and Olive Branch and get the most money back for it today. Vacation, road trips, and all your summer fun begins in Olive Branch with our friends at All-Star Chevrolet. Together, let's drive something from All-Star. For more information, go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, we need to get to another break. We're getting towards the end of this game up in Omaha right now. Louisville up 6-3 in the bottom of the 8th. We'll talk College World Series. We'll talk Major League Baseball. A lot of baseball on the other side. That's coming up next on Sports Time.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings. Because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up
There is an army of people that work overnight, pulling the kind of hours most of us would never even attempt. And for those of you that live that life, we encourage you to end your shift by swinging by Sunrise on Jefferson or Sunrise East on Poplar. Not only will you find the freshest, tastiest, quickest breakfast made just for you, you'll also find a full bar at both Sunrise locations, so you can unwind like the rest of us with a cocktail to go with that breakfast. Overnighters, come to Sunrise and knock back a Bloody Mary and say, long night, lovely morning at Sunrise.
Hi, I'm Troy Five-Ash with Five-Ash Roofing. Ever wonder what happens when a contractor saves money on materials? Well, they usually put that money in their pocket. Five-Ash Roofing has negotiated new lower prices for the materials we use. Instead of putting that savings in my pocket, I've decided to pass it on to you. You can call it a sale, reduced pricing, a limited time offer, or even a blue light special. We call it fair, honest, ethical, and the right thing to do. If you've been wondering if now is the right time to get a new roof, only you can answer that, but now is a good time to see how much you can save. Don't forget we have best price guarantees, the best warranty in the business, and superb ratings with the BBB and Google+. We don't use high-pressure sales tactics, and we never will. We're family-owned and operated with roots in the Memphis area. For a fair and honest roof assessment and estimate, call Five-Ash Roofing at 488-4991 or check us out at memphisroofer.com.
Online radio show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Nancy Porter with 24/7 Sports. Your Ole Miss defensive captain Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC sports film, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Garvey will kick off the first throw to extra innings. Your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56 live 6 p.m. and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
This
traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Good afternoon. More traffic volume just in the last few minutes trying to get out of Midtown on 240 southbound here at South Parkway as it continues to pick up with more volume. Trying to get south of Memphis on 55 down through DeSoto County. It's that time of day for it to get busy over here on 240 east up by Poplar, especially in both directions there, east and westbound between Poplar and Walnut Grove. Dandelions, crabgrass, Lawn Solutions says, hey, not a problem. Call Lawn Solutions here in Memphis at 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back in to Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios. And we got to talk some baseball. College World Series going on right now. Game 2 of the day in action as they're getting ready to wrap it up. Louisville in control right now over Oregon State. Would be a big win for Louisville. Louisville has been playing really well throughout this postseason, and certainly in Omaha. They've played really well. Up 6-3 right now in an elimination game. Later this evening, we will have a massive one, UCLA and Arkansas. That was the 15th overall team once we when we started postseason against the 3rd overall team in Arkansas. Tonight, 6 o'clock on ESPN, a winner advances, loser goes home type of game, elimination style. And so that's going to be a big one tonight. But the baseball's been good today. LSU, a 9-5 win earlier today, finishing that game from last night over UCLA. It's been a lot of fun in Omaha.
UCLA put 3 on the board in the top of the first last night.
Yeah.
LSU answered with a grand slam in the bottom of the first, and then it was all Bayou Bengals from then on today. Arkansas, they were sitting back. They wanted LSU and UCLA to be playing right now.
That's
just
right,
play
yeah.
all day and night. And there's the threat of rain.
Oh, wow.
So we could have some stopping and starting. Arkansas was kind of hoping UCLA and LSU would go on a baseball marathon today. It wrapped up pretty quickly. It was pretty tidy how they did it, but still the turnaround. Baseball, and especially all these youngsters, so used to travel baseball and even summertime Cape Cod League, a lot of games and a lot of days. So they're used to that. And Arkansas, they're hoping to get just a semblance of another pitching performance like they got yesterday. The records fell. First College World Series no-hitter since 1960.
Crazy.
The strikeout number, the mastery. And Arkansas needed that because the bats have been pretty quiet in Omaha.
Yeah, and it's a great point. And, something that I want to talk about is, pitching was awesome last night, but you look at really throughout most of all of Omaha, the bats have been really quiet. You go back to that game against LSU, only 4 hits, only 1 run. And so you got to have more than that tonight against this UCLA team that we've talked about a lot, that they really hit the ball well. You even go back to that game against Murray. You hit them. It was great. It was pitcher dominating. You only scored 3 runs in that game. So, 10 hits, but only 3 runs.
You almost needed a no-no.
Exactly. You had to shut them down offensively or you were in trouble. And so you've got to have a much better performance at the plate tonight. This UCLA team, even in that loss today against LSU, we talked about it, still 5 runs. You mentioned getting some early runs in the first inning. This is a UCLA team that has hit the ball well all season long. And so this is going to be tough for Arkansas tonight. But again, if they can get those bats working like they have for most of the season, if they can get another really good pitching performance, then UCLA could be in trouble because Arkansas has shown they are an extremely talented team and can certainly beat a UCLA team.
The defeated team will go back to the hotel tonight and then sack it up tomorrow morning and season's over, return home. The winner will get LSU, but either team will have to beat LSU 2 times. That would be difficult. Arkansas's got to beat them tonight and one more time, right?
That's right, yeah.
And Louisville will now get Toledo tomorrow. Coastal Carolina.
That's right, yeah, that's right.
I got TBD confused with Toledo. It happens.
Well, hey, Toledo, TBD, I understand it. But no, it's gonna be tough.
55-11 Coastal.
Yeah, no, they're incredible, and they play winning baseball. That's for sure. They don't. It's almost like they've forgotten how to lose.
How do you think they divvy up the NIL pot if they opt in and decide to? They've got to go to baseball.
Got to. I mean, it's already won championship. You're pretty deep in a good spot right now this year to
not many out there are going to go baseball first, but they would and should.
Yeah, no, Coastal will definitely invest a lot in baseball.
Shouldn't Rice try that and try to get good in baseball again?
Yeah.
When Rice was very good at one time.
Yeah, no, I think there's a handful. There's not a lot, but there are a handful of universities out there that either right now have pretty good baseball programs or have had really good baseball programs in the past. And it might not be a bad idea to really invest in that sport and put a lot of money in there and try to build something. I think those are two schools that should certainly look into that. I don't know if they will, but certainly Coastal Carolina has a great argument for trying to fight for a lot of NIL money.
But I can guarantee you, for as long as we've had college sports, there's been a way to find a way to get good players money.
Oh, yeah. And we've talked about that of, maybe with these changes with the House, maybe the bagman's back in business, and there are definitely ways, nobody threw away all those great ideas from the past. And,
how are you going to track crypto?
You know what, Brett? Haven't thought about that, but that is.
I mean, with the advent and the wave of casino gambling, I know even in our area, casino chips were often the coin of the realm.
Why not? Why not? I mean, there's going to be ways to get around it. There's always been ways to do it, and now I think this just opens it up to more people doing it, and I think we're going to see it all over the place. And I don't know what to expect over these next couple of years.
Brian, I think I have a better mastery on when to and when not to use cap or no cap than I do to explain the crypto.
Oh, no, I've never been one to,
I can still balance my checking account.
Sure.
If that counts for anything.
I don't think it does. But
it doesn't for you because you've never written a check.
That's correct. Yeah, no, I do. I have not written a check, so I would not. I would not be good at that.
I wrote one today.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I topped lifetime check writing for you today.
You sure did. And I mean, I'm trying to even think the last time I got some checks when I first opened my account, and then I think I put them in a drawer, and I've never seen them since. I don't know what I did with them, but no. But yeah, crypto is not my fortitude. I could definitely, I'm with you. I could definitely tell you more about cap and no cap than I can anything else. But no, I'm excited to see what Arkansas can do tonight. And if they win, it's going to be tough against LSU. Obviously, LSU has the upper hand right now, but it would be a lot of fun if we got LSU and Arkansas again tomorrow. But we'll see. And obviously, this game, Oregon State with a home run to make that deficit a little shorter, 6-4 now. In the ninth inning, still need a lot, but only down by 2 now. So maybe we're seeing the start of a comeback there.
Looping a blast.
That's all you got to do. But you got to get somebody on, and we'll see if they're able to do that.
Is everything going to be okay between you and Connor for the next few days with the Cardinals? Is Jim Croce saying the baddest part of town on the south side of Chicago?
It's probably not, but I'm confident. I'm confident our Birds can get the job done. And I won't have to worry about it. He'll have to worry about it.
You've chalked up W's?
I've chalked up W's already. The Birds are back.
It's bold.
It feels like May again.
Does it?
It does. I feel good about our Birds.
2 over 500 feels like May.
May's back, Brett. It's back. You gotta feel good about the Birds.
The Tony La Russa Bowl tonight.
That's right. Tonight could be tough early getting some runs. I don't know. Shane Smith has been pretty good on the mound, and Cardinals bats have not been great. So
Rockies got that back-to-back win last night, going for 3 in a row tonight.
Could they get 3 in a row again? When's the last time they've done that twice in a 30-day span? It's been a really long time. We'll see. How much of Shohei did you watch last night?
Not much. He wasn't out there long.
No,
I forgot about it. To be honest with you, I was in the middle of basketball.
It was one quick inning. If you weren't there right when it started, you missed it completely. But definitely interesting stuff from him. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 kind of bloopers that got they found ground, and they were able to score a run. He did reach triple digits, so that was definitely a promising sign. But I'm curious to see how they continue to roll out his pitching duties, because it was weird. He gets done pitching, immediately walks towards the dugout. They already have his stuff laid out for him. He puts everything on, steps in the batter's box, and he's the leadoff hitter for the Los Angeles Dodgers. It still is wild to watch.
You do realize in the National League Central Division race, the Cubs now have a 6-game lead in the all-important loss column.
Oh, yeah. It's not a good division, Brett.
Stretching it out a little bit every week, aren't they?
It's terrible division. It really is. And so, you get one team that's decent, and they can really run away with it. I mean, I don't really see,
like Milwaukee did last year.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't really know if anybody can really challenge the Cubs.
And we'll see what the Cubs do at deadline time. There's a lot of stories out there that the ownership, they don't want to commit any more money. They don't feel like it's a really go for a year.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad way to look at it, because I really don't think it's a go for it year. So
the loyal Cub fans deserve better than that.
They do.
Anytime you're in postseason,
sure,
you need to be trying to go for it any place.
Oh, sure.
But especially there with one since 1908.
Oh, definitely. No, if you're in that position, I think you do have to make the
That's
moves.
not fair to those great fans that fill that place up forever.
No, it's not. But I think the amount of moves they would need to make would be too much than what they'd be willing to.
Oh, you think they need to add a bunch?
Oh, yeah.
Not just a hole, but holes?
No, I think it's multiple. I really don't think they're a great team. I don't even think I think they're a decent team. I think that's...
And they will go against teams in the postseason that will add.
Yes.
San Francisco, they already have. The Dodgers will do something, if nothing else, just get well, and the Mets will.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're going to be going up against teams in the playoffs that are already better than them right now, and teams that are going to be adding stuff at the deadline. And so I don't know. I mean, the thing with the Cubs is their schedule has broken great for them. I mean, you go back and look at some of these series they've won, it's been Pirates, Reds, they've beaten the Marlins twice.
See, if I said that, the text line would accuse me of bitter, angry Cardinal fan.
Well, they can accuse me all they want. Those teams are good. I mean, the last time they beat a team over 500, I mean, it's like once in the last 10 series.
Well, they get the Cardinals 4 times next week.
And Cardinals aren't any good either. So, I mean, they'll probably win that series. So, it's a terrible division. It's really bad.
Over under 500 when I go up first weekend in September to see the Cardinals against the homeless Athletics. What will over under 500? What will it be?
I'm gonna say under, Brett.
How many?
I don't know, like 5 or 6 probably.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Labor Day, that will be a good crowd. That Tuesday and Wednesday night, if that's the case, first week of September, back to school, everything that goes with that. Could be the smallest crowds I've ever sat in New Busch Stadium.
It could be. Now I hope I'm wrong, but I don't like the trajectory they're on right now.
Even the last few years with the team, I don't think I've ever been in the ballpark that it's been less than 35,000 people.
But you could see it this year if it gets that. Now I don't know how the schedule lines up for that, so hopefully it's not that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're in that situation. How about this, Brett? We've got a guy on second, no outs, 2-0 count right now. Louisville going to the bullpen. So
that's how it happens.
Maybe keep an eye on what's going on in Omaha and see if Oregon State can pull.
Oregon State's good at coming back in Omaha.
They are.
That's the Razorbacks.
They have definitely shown that they can make some plays late. So we'll keep you updated on everything going on in Omaha and if Oregon State can pull off this comeback. But right now, we got to get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports
2.5 seconds for a pit stop. 2.5 seconds? That's not enough time to indulge in juicy original recipe chicken. Oh, and he's gone. Creamy mashed potatoes, sweet pie poppers, and a medium drink. Well, the rest of us can take as long as we'd like to enjoy any KFC $7 fill. Then see F1 the movie start 27.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm inviting you over for dinner. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner of scrumptious combinations. Fresh salads, homemade soups, or maybe start with an appetizer, like our baked Dungeness crab dip with manchego cheese, lemon, garlic, and French baguette toast. Drift into one of our fresh seafood dishes, like the caramelized sea scallops with curry beurre blanc, black forbidden rice, and Thai mango salad. Or our ancho honey glazed salmon with creamy black bean puree, avocado pico de gallo, and jalapeno crema. Maybe you're looking for something cozy and comforting, like our Duroc pork chop with apple brandy demi-glaze and blue cheese bacon mashed potatoes. We have something for everyone. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us. I'd sure love to see you.
Congratulations to Napa Cafe, celebrating 27 years of great food and service for you. Napa Cafe.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. And after looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home in Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brad, I think we should switch things up today and have you go first.
You got it. Yesterday, my big number was 22. Today, it's 22 plus 200. It's 222.
Okay.
Pascal Siakam, he did it last night. He had 28 points. That got him to 222 points all time in the NBA Finals games this year with the Pacers, and the year the Toronto Raptors won it all. He was in the finals with them. That got him to number 100 on the all-time list for points scored in the NBA Finals, and that's the most for any player in these finals. And he just got there to 100. He's a long way from first, and first is Jerry West with 1679. LeBron James in second with 1562.
Wow.
I don't think LeBron James ever plays in another final game.
It'd be tough.
He's not going to catch Jerry West.
No.
128. I don't think he'll catch him.
That's it's a lot.
Even in a 7-gamer, he might not.
That's a lot.
And is he getting to the finals 2 more times?
No, I won't put it past 1, but 2 seems like a lot. But Lakers got to make some additions if they want to try to get back to the NBA Finals, because we saw that group at the end of the season with last year. They were a piece or 2 short. My big number today is the number 2. It comes from the NHL. A lot of 2s in our big number today, but my number is 2, and it has to do with the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. We've got Game 6 tonight down in South Florida.
Crank up the beaming machine at 5:55.
We all know where we're beaming to. It might be one of the easiest beams of all time, but the Florida Panthers, an opportunity tonight to wrap things up. This number comes from what they have done throughout the Stanley Cup Finals. Florida Panthers have scored at least 2 first-period goals in each of the 5 games in this year's Stanley Cup Final. It's the first time an NHL team has had 5 multi-goal first periods in one Stanley Cup Final, consecutive or not. So, I mean, it's really incredible what the Florida Panthers have done early in games, and it's a big reason of why they have a lead in this series. An opportunity to close things out tonight is the way that they've been able to put the puck in the back of the net.
Hard feelings in that matchup, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's
any chance, and it happens occasionally in hockey. Any chance a punch would get thrown in the handshake line?
I'm gonna say no.
Pretty testy.
It's very testy, but hockey does a really good job of once things are over, usually it's a lot of respect. Hockey's a big sport on respect. So I'm going to say no. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it, but I'm going to say no. We do have a tie game in Omaha that I need to bring up.
We sure do.
6-6 game.
And still base runners everywhere for Oregon State.
Everywhere. A tough play. Shortstop gets under his glove and runners.
Well, I hate that for U of L.
I sure do. I sure do hate it for Louisville.
I mean, Tiger basketball fans since 1971. Yeah. I'm never for them.
No, my father said the exact same thing earlier this week. Game was going on. He texts me. He goes, "Who are you pulling for in this game with Louisville?" I go, "I don't know." And he goes, "Well, I'm certainly not pulling for Louisville." I go, "Okay, well, I can understand that."
All the summer fun and affordability you can imagine at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. The 2026 All-Star Chevy Equinox, you can get that right there in Olive Branch. Financing down to 6.6% for 72 months. New 25 Silverados with $6,500 in cold hard cash back, and financing down to 2.9 for 36 months. Go big and get a new Silverado 2500 HD with financing as low as 3.9 for 60 months and not a payment for 90 days. Your good credit deserves it. If you're law enforcement, recent grad, military, educator, healthcare worker, first responder, an extra $500 bonus back. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star, and you'll get the most money back for it, even if you didn't buy it from them. All the certified and pre-owned you can imagine, like a Corvette Stingray, Silverados, Tahoes, you'll find more of them at All-Star than anywhere else in our area. Vacation road trips and all your summer fun begins in Olive Branch with our friends at All-Star Chevrolet. Together, let's drive something from All-Star. And for more information, you can always go to allstarautogroup.com.
6-6, top of the ninth. Base runners on second and third. Oregon State in a really good spot right now to win this game and stay alive in Omaha. We'll keep you updated on everything going on there, but we got to wrap up this hour. When we return, we're talking all things NFL. Beau Marchant, he joins us next.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places. Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Fun, exciting, friendly, and comfortable. Wall-to-wall TVs, 24 taps for all your beers, including $3 domestic, $5 craft pints on Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 happy hour. Music bingo Tuesdays, daily special. And the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Highway 70 Checks, daily special, weekend music at the Owner's Box.
Getting engaged. At Sissy's Log Cabin, the promise of a lifetime begins with our promise to always provide unmatched quality, superior service, and brilliant natural diamonds. Find your dream engagement ring, wedding bands, and more when you shop Sissy'sLogCabin.com or stop by any of our 7 locations. Begin the rest of your lives brilliantly. Only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry. It's time for fun, family, and fabulous prizes at the 67th Annual St. Louis Hole-in-One Charity Festival, Sunday through Saturday, June 15th through 21st. Golfers can win cash and prizes every night, along with the chance to win $25,000 toward a City Auto vehicle purchase select nights. Then a chance to win $1 million the final night. Plus, there are cornhole tournaments every night with cash and prizes. Friday and Saturday nights, there are kids' carnival rides and 2 to 4 Saturday children's golf. So golfers, grab your clubs. Cornholers, practice your aim. Families, bring the kids. Memphis, there's something for everyone. You're invited to the biggest party of the year at St. Louis Church, 203 South White Station Road. The 67th Annual St. Louis Hole-in-One Charity Festival, Sunday through Saturday, June 15th through the 21st. Fun, family, and fabulous prizes all week as you help raise funds supporting youth programs at St. Louis Church.
Corky's barbecue. Cooking it up. Down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey, y'all, Jimmy Stone over here with Corky's Barbecue. Catering is our specialty. Millions have trusted Corky's to cater their events for 40 years. Because we make it easy to eat and delicious for your guests. Whether it's 50 people or a crowd of thousands, our experienced team comes to your location, sets up, serves, and ensures everyone enjoys a Corky's all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet starting at only $7.99 per person. You can't beat it. With 40 years of experience, it's easy to see why customers choose Corky's time and time again for all of their catering needs. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to place your next order.
Encore flavor. Corky's barbecue.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of area jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Area just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Area boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
This traffic report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Traffic's on the increase quite a bit now. Trying to get out of Midtown on 240 South here at South Parkway. It looks like it's picked up even more on 240 East from Mill Branch all the way out to 385 as you get on to Bill Morris Parkway, headed on out towards Collierville. That's going to get really busy here in the next few minutes. Weimer's Jewelry, your diamond engagement ring headquarters this bridal season. Stop by and see them and shop local at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Dave Wiloshin, weekday mornings from 10 to 11. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jack Wild and Roller Bluff City. Once again,
You say you stand by your man. Tell me something I don't understand. You said you love me,
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios as we start our third and final hour. A quick update from Omaha. Louisville, they make the pitching change and they're able to get out of the ninth inning tied game going into extras. We'll keep you updated on all the action from the College World Series, but we got to talk NFL, and we do it every Tuesday with Bo Marchant.
National Football League talk every Tuesday with Bo Marchant, covering the NFL Draft at collegetopro.com and the NFL Draft Bible, covering the Steelers for Sports Illustrated, living and running in Eastern Ohio, and on Twitter X at Bo Marchant. Here's Bo with Bryant and Brett.
Bo Marchant joins us every Tuesday to talk the NFL. We know you cover the Pittsburgh Steelers very closely. How are things up there? We know last week the big news with Aaron Rodgers was still pretty fresh. What's going on up in Pittsburgh and in Steeler land since last time we talked with you?
Well, I think after practice, the final practice, I think of OTAs, the T.J. Watt was addressed to Coach Tomlin afterwards. He seemed relatively, he didn't seem too concerned. I believe he said both parties are kind of working towards a deal, or at least they're in the same atmosphere or sphere, if you want. Or, they didn't seem too concerned. So, I don't know when Watt will get a new contract, but I think by the time Latrobe rolls around, I think Watt will be there with a new deal. I believe that. We don't know if that'll be true. It's just my assumption on how the Steelers do things. And
I agree.
And I'm sure they want him in camp. And, kind of all these teams, we've seen the Cowboys and Bryant but, you don't want these things to linger where, you have these guys holding out till the very last day before the season. You're going to get these guys signed, get the deals done. That way, all the questions, all the where's he at, all the other questions to the other teammates, none of that exists. You just watch practice and watch TJ do what he does best, and that's get to the quarterback.
And that's what he'll do. Unless he's injured, when the defense runs out there, he'll run out there at MetLife Stadium against the Jets opening day. What about the offensive line, the other side of TJ Watt and in front of Aaron Rodgers, 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers? Is it improved?
I hope it is. Calvin Anderson, he's a backup journeyman, undrafted, 7 years in the league. He's had a great camp, and he's going to be that, utility guy behind the starters. But the big question are the bookends. You got a third-year guy going, Broderick Jones, out of Georgia. He's going to be the left tackle. And then last year's first-round pick out of Washington, Troy Fatanu. Troy was hurt all last year. We've already played one game. But so you really don't have enough to say, okay, what do we have here? But, at the end of the day, those are going to be the keys. Those are huge, huge guys that have to step up. I'm going to be as honest as I can here. I love Broderick Jones. I love his ability. I love the tenaciousness. He has a nasty to him, which I love in an offensive lineman. But I think this is a pinnacle year, and I didn't get a chance to talk to him the final day because he had meetings. But I just wanted to ask him if Coach Tomlin said this to him in terms of, there's a lot riding on this year, and there's a lot riding on you becoming the guy. And I think for Broderick Jones, he kind of has a young man's personality, but I think he needs to grow into an old man's position at that left tackle. And I'm just talking about the way he carries himself and just what he needs to become a top caliber guy. And I think personally, this year 3, if you don't have it by year 3, then you're never, I don't think you're going to figure it out. And you might go somewhere 3 years from now and have a Baker Mayfield resurgence with Tampa Bay, absent of, we saw him with Carolina get cut, go to the Rams, and then he becomes a superstar again in Tampa. So, those things are possible. But the ends, the tackles, they need to step up. And for me, I love Jones, but he really needs to really just establish himself as the marquee guy of that line and the centerpiece of that line for this team to really, really dig in and go far.
And you mentioned the rookie last year from Washington. That offensive line he was on that last year with the Huskies, that's what really led them to that college football national championship game for Kalen DeBoer. I think that was the Joe Moore award-winning offensive line emblematic in honoring the best offensive line in college football. And the scrutiny on both tackles, on the bookends, as you say, it's already there in the NFL, but it will really be there with Aaron Rodgers as the signal caller. Do y'all realize next Tuesday, get ready, next Tuesday, our first quarterback ranking?
I was going to ask you to
from a division
us when we're starting that.
We rank all four teams. The who we presume will be the starter. Where do we want to start next week? Have we decided, Brian?
Didn't we say the Beast? Let's start in the NFC East. Let's get it going.
If we start in the NFC East, then the week after that will be AFC East, and then we'll flip-flop NFC, AFC, all the way down. We'll do that for 8 weeks, and then we'll have AFC picks, and then we'll have NFC and Super Bowl picks, and then, Bo, it'll be game week. Eagles and Cowboys will be that week.
Crazy.
It fast forwards. I don't say this begrudgingly, but like hearing that, it seems like the summer's already over. It's just like, all right, and it is. I know. I mean, we're a couple weeks from July. And I hate it's I'll be in Canton in 5 weeks for the Hall of Fame,
That's
and boom.
crazy.
I mean, we are there. It's here.
That is right. I'm not fully over, but it's the downhill slide. It's the dip in the roller coaster for sure. And then I get through 4th of July and SEC Media Days, and it's like a hurricane. You're right about the Hall of Fame game. That is from this Thursday, 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
And it's just, and I think the Steelers, I think Wednesday, the 24th of July, they report to Latrobe. I think the first day of practice is the Thursday, the 25th, I believe.
Bo,
So
help me with something. Last weekend, watching the U.S. Open, and they were talking about Western PA. How far is Latrobe from Pittsburgh?
45 minutes, 40 minutes maybe.
Good. That the hometown of Arnold Palmer.
I think Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers.
That's correct.
I believe he's there. And if you go to Latrobe, if you go to St. Vincent's University or college, it's a very tiny place. But right when you pull in, there's the Fred Rogers Museum. And it's kind of neat, and it's a pretty place. The church sits on top of the hill. It's actually a very pretty setting. And then I forget her name, but Arnold Palmer's wife has I run there every morning. It's called. It's not a sanctuary, but it's a refuge or something. But it's like a park, and I don't know if they're black-eyed Susans, but they look like sunflowers. But it got to be 2 miles of just these, and you're running, and all you see is these flowers forever and ever, and then you look up top of the hill, and then you see the chapel or the cathedral at St. Vincent's. It's a pretty way to wake up and start your day.
Wow.
His first wife and mother of his children until she passed away, and then he remarried. Her name was Winnie Palmer.
Winnie, that's her. Yeah, that's her place. It's the Winnie something, something. But it's an excellent place.
The special on his life and what he did really for Western PA and for Latrobe and for where he learned how to play the game, and they covered it a lot last weekend. I love your area up there, Bo. And they showed that if you were watching U.S. Open coverage, they showed those cable cars at Fort Duquesne in Pittsburgh going up to the top of the mountain. That is must do for anybody that goes to Pittsburgh and that view.
Yeah, it's pretty. And then once you get to the top of Mount Washington, it's the one thing I love about Pittsburgh as a city, there's all these little neighborhoods within side neighborhoods. Right when you think you're outside of the city and you're not going to find anything, you just turn down the street and there's a diner and a bar and a deli and another diner and a bar and a deli.
Can you imagine those places on game day and what it's like in that atmosphere?
Oh, it's I've seen it. It's a good atmosphere. It is a good atmosphere. Yeah. Trust me, we've talked. I mean, obviously, I cover the Steelers, but I mean, when you're in granted, I don't know how all the other teams are, but I've been around. Like everything within the suburbs and the city. If you have a plumbing, it's still city plumbing. If you own a car dealership, it's still city cars. or everything's steel or something, and it's all black and yellow. You know, you're not going to open up a company and have an orange and yellow label in Pittsburgh. You're going to be called Steel. You know, you're going to be called Steel Pizza, Steel Valley Pizza, and I guarantee you're going to have black and yellow boxes and a black and yellow sign. It's just crazy. And you know, you even think of the Pirates and the Penguins. I mean, all the sports teams are black and yellow, and the Steelers are. You know, you know, they're definitely the city, the team of the city, without question.
The Steelers are arguably more famous than Heinz ketchup.
Yeah,
that could be. Yeah. And these people love their Heinz ketchup. I mean, you know, Clark
best table ketchup ever made.
Oh, Bo, let's not talk about ketchup. I mean, Heinz, they have it.
Yeah, it's a good. Andy Warhol Museum's down there. I mean, he's a Pittsburgh guy, so I mean, and that's like probably a 2-minute walk from PNC. And PNC is probably a 4-minute walk from Acrisure Stadium. So the North Shore is a nice place.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. Bo,
and real quick,
no,
and if the Pittsburgh Tourism Committee wants to send the three of us checks, we'll happily accept it.
I promise you, after I went in 2006, I came back and said I'd freeze to death, but I could live in Pittsburgh, and I could do the sales pitch for the Visitors and Convention Bureau. And I've told this story a bunch of times. That night, it was an afternoon game, and it was going out to eat that night. And I asked, the person at the hotel, I said, am I safe? He said, buddy, if you get robbed in Pittsburgh, you've had the worst luck of anybody ever.
It's a fair statement. I mean, obviously you got to be careful no matter where you go. But I remember a different story when I was in New Orleans. I went running. I go, the guy saved. He goes, you might want to bring a gun with you. So.
Well, yeah, might not be a bad idea. Talking to Bo Marchant, he joins us every single Tuesday to talk the NFL. This story, one of the bigger stories in the NFL right now, Shamar Stewart and what's going on between him, his rookie contract, and the Bengals. What do you make of this story? And obviously different. Usually when we're talking about contract disputes, it's guys that have been in the league for a while. They're on their second contract and trying to work things out. This is a guy that's just getting ready for his rookie season.
Yeah, I believe I think he went higher than their last year's first-round pick. And I forget who their first-round pick last year, didn't have the same language in their contract. So the Bengals are trying to, I think, sneak this into the deal. They're actually kind of going outside the NFLPA guidelines, in my mind, and what they're trying to do to Shamar Stewart. And I don't blame him. And I think he left camp not to be a distraction. And I think for Cincinnati to be this finicky about a contract where it's really, at least in my mind, I don't really think it's on the up and up what they're trying to do. You have a team that, you resign T. Higgins, you got Jamar Chase, you got a healthy Joe Burrow. Why are you messing with this? You got an unhappy Trey Hendrickson. You got to get him there. Put the pieces in place, eliminate the distractions, and let this team succeed. But Mike Brown, the Bengals, they're famous for doing these types of things. They're famous for being a little bit short-handed or short-pocketed when it comes to stepping up when they need to. And I side on the side of the player here. I think this is, I'm surprised the NFLPA, maybe they have. This isn't a story I've covered. I'm reading every update I can, but to me, it just seems like the Bengals are being a little bit finicky, a little bit shady, if you will, in terms of what they're trying to do with this young man. And I mean, if you really look into it, I mean, if he gets a penalty for certain things, he could lose money, get money eliminated, the way I understood it. So I just think it's a bad way to start, your relationship with a guy that you took and you probably have high hopes for. So, but that's the way I look at it, and it will get done. But again, why bad blood at the beginning? It never works out well.
It's the Bengals that's perfect for them.
The Bengals.
And with Joe Burrow there, he got to a Super Bowl very early, and look, if somebody blocks Aaron Donald, they probably win that Super Bowl late in that game. I don't know when he's going to get back. We would have thought he would already be back by now. We're on the same path of wasting him like Carson Palmer got wasted there.
Yeah, it's I think I even think if Zach Taylor, I think they have to go deep. They almost have to have like an AFC championship run, or lose to a nail biter against the Bills hypothetically. I think another slow start and another deja vu season where they're on the outside looking in and they got to basically go 9-2 in their last 11 games to maybe sniff a wild card spot. I just don't think that's going to cut it. Because, again, as much as I just complained, about them doing the things wrong, the things that they have done right is, they have Higgins, Chase, and Burrows. They have a great young back in Chase Brown. So they have the pieces to be a good football team. I just think Zach Taylor, this is to me a do or die season. It kind of maybe like a Tony Dungy with, before Gruden stepped in. You feel really confident about what's on the paper, but you're not seeing the results on the field. So you're not going to get rid of Burrow. You're not going to get rid of Chase. So then, we know the next, domino to fall, that would be the head coach. So I think Taylor needs to get this team started off hot. And if they start off hot, then they usually come around. And that also, I think, speaks to Joe Burrow. I love him. Some days I think he's the best quarterback in the league. But, I think last year, you open it with New England and you lose. I mean, those are the games. If you're the guy, if you're the Tom Brady, if you're that Patrick Mahomes, if you're that guy, you beat the Patriots that day. And they had their stumbles and their hiccups, and it took them a while to get on track. And that's why they, were the team that we saw last year. Slow starts, not enough, early wins, and they struggle. And that's why we're talking about them as a team that possibly could miss out again just because they need the right to ship. And Zach Taylor talks quiet about it. The last couple of years, we've been here before. I don't know. If I'm the ownership, I'm like, man, listen, just because we've been here before, it's a place we never want to be, ever. So I don't take comfort in saying we've been here before, we'll get out of it. You were here before. I think you should find a way to fix it, not to get back to where you were. But that's my case on Zach Taylor. I think Zach Taylor and Burrow need to have a hot start, or I think Zach Taylor is going to be will be a guy that we're going to be talking. He'll be a guy that we talk about. When the pink slips start to come, Black Friday starts to arrive. Will Zach Taylor be on that list?
Yeah, but you're right. They might be at the end of the season, but because they're so tight-fisted and so money-conscious, they're not going to pay a coach not to be coaching, no matter how bad it is. I think they stick with him all year.
They could. I mean,
they're not firing him in season. I just looked it up. Since the AFC Championship game win over Kansas City, Joe Burrow has 2 playoff wins.
Wow.
You know what though? I mean, how many? That's I guess what it is when you really look at records. Like Brett, I don't know if you could look it up. Like, how many playoff wins does Aaron Rodgers have? Let's say in the last 8 years or something. We kind of, you know what I mean. Sometimes like Ben. I mean, Ben didn't win a playoff game for how long with the Steelers? You know what I mean? Like these. You have that little window of success, and a lot of quarterbacks are like this. Outside that one window of maybe a couple seasons, you kind of forget that, we get accustomed to, he's this guy and this is how good he is. But sometimes those numbers are misleading to,
everybody can't be Mahomes.
No, he's special.
Yeah, no, he has set a very high bar. I saw this headline earlier today on ESPN, and I know we will be ranking this division next week, so we'll be talking more about this team and this quarterback room. But the headline, Giants rookie quarterback Dart draws praise, quote, fit right in. What do you make of this quarterback room in New York? Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Jackson Dart. It's
you left one out.
DeVito.
Tommy DeVito.
DeVito is still there. I did see him earlier today on a video. It's a weird quarterback room, to say the least. What do you make of what the Giants have at the quarterback position?
Yeah, well, they have a lot of options. Yeah, I think in a perfect world, listen, even if they want to go with Russell or Jameis at the beginning, just to let Jackson develop, the Giants, you assume they're not going to be, they're not going to come out 4-5-0 and be setting the league on fire. Anything's possible. So I think, the Giants fan base is going to be eager to see the rookie, and then, you hope he pans out, and then he might go back to Winston's and then back to Russell. I think a perfect scenario, and we saw it with Patrick Mahomes, and even a little bit with Aaron Rodgers when he sat behind Favre. If Dart isn't ready, if he's not 100% the guy at the start of the season, you got two established veterans in Winston and Russell. Let those guys handle the majority and let this kid develop. Don't let him get out there and get beat up too quick. But you guys know I was high on Dart from the get-go, so I'm excited to see him succeed. I think the Giants, Malik Neighbors was insanely good last year. And, you look at the quarterback play they had last year. So even with the Winston or a Russell, or I'd even say a Dart, you got to say that, Malik Neighbors is going to continue, doing what he did last year. I mean, just a sensational rookie season. But I think, you start with Russell. I think that's Russ's job to lose, kind of like he was with the Steelers last year and the battle with Justin Fields, even despite the injuries. When he came back, 4-2 Steelers, Tomlin and the organization still went with Russ to continue, the whole, for the best of the year. So I think the Giants will do that. They'll look for, the veteran leadership that Russ brings. I think they'll look to that for this team. And hopefully Russ, and I didn't pick up anything quirky in terms of he would be not the guy to lead internally in terms of, develop Dart. I don't think you're going to hear anything out of Russell Wilson that says otherwise, but, let Dart develop behind those two guys, Winston and Russell. And Winston, for all the INTs he throws, he is a fun guy to watch. He's a gunslinger, guys. He's not going to hold back. You don't like the turnovers, but at least you're going to score points.
No, yeah, he'll definitely move it downfield, that's for sure. Well, it's going to be fun ranking that division next week and getting our quarterback rankings started. Bo, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next Tuesday.
You guys are the best. Stay safe.
Thanks,
Thank you, Bo.
Right
you are. You're the best. Thank you.
Absolutely. Bo Marchant joining us every week to talk the NFL. I was wrong, Brett, earlier. I think I'm going to blame the standard definition of the television that I'm watching this game on. I thought that Oregon State was batting in the bottom of the ninth inning, but that was incorrect. They were in the top of the ninth inning, and Louisville comes up in the bottom of the ninth, gets bases loaded, and ultimately gets the winning run in. So Louisville
tough loss.
Advances. Very tough loss.
Too many base runners left out there in the top for Oregon State, but in Louisville got it done in the bottom.
That's right. No, it was. But
it just hit me. We weren't really close to having it, but could have had Louisville, Murray State 2 out of 3 for the championship.
Could have.
They were opposite, but it wasn't close.
No, I guess there was a world out there where that could have been a possibility, but no, just the emotional roller coaster for Oregon State. You're down, you come all the way back, you tie the game, and then you go out there bottom of the ninth and you let it go again. So Louisville advances, and now we'll get ready for Arkansas and UCLA getting started here.
And NFC East next week. I'm
fun.
Spoiler alert: Jackson Dart won.
Okay, all right. I'll hold you to it, Brett.
Not Jaden Daniels, not Dak Prescott, not the Super Bowl MVP.
Not the guy that's won Super Bowls. No, the rookie. I love it.
I'm not going Cardinals winning it all next week on the NFC East picks.
Good. That'll be fun next week.
And now, if I had my jersey in yet, I would.
Yes, that would be much different. If you could rock the jersey while doing the pick, then I would say absolutely throw him number one. But that will be fun next week. Before we get to a break, let me remind you about our great 5 o'clock sponsors. It's Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out the new 2025 models like the 2025 Range Rover Sport, the 2025 Range Rover Velar, and the 2025 Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility, with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender. Available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to jaguarbluffcity.com, but head out there and test drive these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince, for Bluff City Jaguar. Well, we need to get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
We breathe it naturally. Simple, right? Not so fast. The air you breathe could be hazardous to your health. Don't guess. Be sure with a phone call to the Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. Call the Memphis Mold Inspector to check the air quality inside your home or office. Call 901-292-7788 for clean air and peace of mind. 901-292-7788 or visit memphismoldinspector.com.
Still taking your nature made vitamins every day. Multivitamin and a probiotic. Still looking out for you. You're still to care for you every day. Nature made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us at Walmart. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director of Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 for you, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-sized courts, 3 high school-sized courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member in both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
Memphis Public Links has so much going on right now. Audubon is right around the fairway. Wait until you see when this thing is a finished product. Fox Meadows is in great shape. The Links at Pine Hill is now a masterpiece of a place to play, as are really all the other Memphis public golf courses. Galloway is playing like a championship course. They just finished the 75th year of the OPO, and Overton Park is now talked about, and that layout all across the state. And by the way, folks, it's so easy to make a tee time. The hard part is getting your buddies to pick their time. You go online to memphispubliclinks.com, select your course, then grab your tee time. Simple, easy, and incredibly convenient. Also, on the website is a schedule of upcoming events. There you'll find something that will interest you. Again, if you want to book a tee time or find out more about tournaments or other events at any of the great Memphis public golf courses, go online to memphispubliclinks.com.
This traffic brought to you by Raleigh Tire Auto Service, your local family-owned business for over 60 years.
Good afternoon. Still loading up pretty good trying to get out of Midtown. Just in a couple of spots. I-40 at Chelsea, southbound 240 here in Norris. As you continue south of Memphis, still moving on 55 down through DeSoto County. It's busy over here now on 240 getting on to 385 Bill Morris Parkway, continuing outbound. Weimer's Jewelry, your diamond engagement ring headquarters this bridal season. Stop by and see them this week at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you live and local inside our Family Leisure Studios as we got about 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending, a handful of things that are trending this afternoon. Brett, I do want your thoughts on what we were talking about with Bo Marchant. These reports, Giants rookie Jackson Dart drawing some praise. Looks like he is having a nice start to camp up in New York. It's a weird quarterback room. It is certainly a quarterback room that I would love to be a fly on the wall for. But there's several different ways that this season could go for Jackson Dart.
But I think a good one for him too.
Oh yeah,
huge veteran presence that's had a lot of football success. I mean, a Super Bowl winner at MetLife Stadium for Russell Wilson, and should have been a second Super Bowl if the offensive coordinator just calls a dive play to Marshawn Lynch. The Patriots were ready to. I mean, they were ready to give up, let him score, to try to get the ball back and go down and win at the end. And then with Jameis Winston, now he's been in a lot of different places, but productive. Still the all-time, I think, leading yards and maybe touchdowns in Buccaneer history for Jameis Winston, Heisman Trophy winner, and Tommy DeVito. Did you know Tommy DeVito was Italian?
You know what? I think I've heard it before.
Yeah,
I think it's been mentioned a couple times.
And so that's got to help him with the Jersey, New York.
Oh man, got to right?
Crowd there for Jackson Dart. From what I've been told about Giants camp is Dart's doing everything we're reading, and that Russell Wilson is at the end.
Yeah, you kind of started to see it last year with the Steelers. Well, really, you saw it, started seeing some signs of it a couple years ago in Denver.
He got a little more out of Pittsburgh than I thought he would.
Yeah, no, he definitely did. And so I was worried about what this could look like in New York. And from at least that, doesn't sound like it's great. But they certainly have. I'll tell you, I mean, I mentioned it with Bo. I was seeing, they were running B-roll, I think it was on ESPN earlier today, of Giants camp, and I'm seeing, and I'm like, okay, well there's Russ, and there's Jackson Dart, and there's Jameis Winston. Who's that fourth quarterback there? Who is that? That must be some undrafted free agent. Oh no, it's Tommy DeVito. Oh yeah, he's still with the Giants. Of course, he's still with the Giants. So that was a shock to me.
He's almost the team mascot.
He is. I mean, he is Mr. New York Giant. I mean, there is no New York Giant almost without Tommy DeVito. So shame on me for not remembering that he was a part of the
opening
Giants.
Day for the Giants in Washington against Jaden Daniels.
Oh man.
If Dart starts, that'd be a SEC quarterback matchup.
It would be. It absolutely would be. But
they were 1-1 against each other in college. Dart got him down 9 with 5 minutes to play and beat LSU that night.
Crazy game. So yeah, that'd be some fun storylines going into the week if that's the case. But
then the Cowboys.
Oh man.
Then the Chiefs.
Oh man. Yeah, we talked about. I mean, that was one of the bigger stories from the schedule release when it happened. Was, man, look at those first 6 or 7 games for the Giants, and they are just absolutely brutal for whoever the quarterback is, whoever is out there for the Giants. It is a brutal stretch of.
Got to play the Eagles twice.
Yeah, I mean that's brutal. So I don't know. This season, I mean, it could go a million different ways for the Giants, and none of them
go to Soldier Field.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's tough. I would not want to be on that team with that type of schedule to start the season. But it is fun, seeing a lot of pictures and videos and stuff from different NFL camps. It's fun to see guys out
closer.
there.
This will be the last really NFL lull now till camp.
No, it really will be. I saw this story earlier this morning. Our friend Jason Munns wrote about it over at the Commercial Appeal, but the American trying to do what they can to improve the basketball. A phenomenal
He
move.
worked a miracle with the SEC.
Yeah, no.
He had the plan.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, to identify that the basketball in your conference is not going in the right direction, and to say we need to go out there and find, just bring in somebody that can bring fresh ideas, bring fresh perspective to this, and try to find ways to make this better. I thought a really phenomenal job.
Train Easy's got it.
He definitely does.
Now, are we certain? We need to be asking somebody if unless we know it. I don't. That's why I'm asking the question. Are we certain they've gone that AAC will be 16 games next year?
I haven't seen anything official on that. I don't think. If I have, I missed it.
Well, that's the first thing he needs to do.
The first thing, and that's the
Now,
first thing I thought about.
Well, then if that's the case, then that would open up 15 non-conference games the Tigers would have to schedule.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
To play 31 games.
That's right. Yeah. So I don't know what
we've kind of been doing that 13 math.
Yeah.
Go 10-3 or 11-2.
Yeah, man, that certainly changed things. I don't know. I don't know if that's something that they want to do this year or if that's something that would be down the road. I just think anybody that can get in there and say, we're not doing that 20-game idea that you floated out there, let's get as far away from that as possible, because that is a terrible idea.
Get far away from 18.
No, yeah, no, I'm with you. I think when you see power conferences, especially power conferences like the ACC, saying we should maybe get to less conference games, I think every conference out there should probably be looking at their conference and saying, we should maybe go to less conference games.
Even the big boys are saying there's conference fatigue with the fans. Yes. We're tired of seeing the same old teams.
Yes. The problem,
and that's really the case in the AAC.
Well, and the problem that you have to face with the American, and hopefully this will be something that can be addressed, is if you say, hey, we're only going to play X amount of conference games, all those teams will go out there and host, Division II and Division III and NAIA schools instead of actual Division I. I mean, that day that we went through and looked at all of the non-D1 opponents that American teams played last year, it was incredible. I mean, some teams playing 2 or 3 non-D1 teams on their schedule. And I get it; it's hard to schedule. But you should not have multiple non-D1 teams on your thing. When you are asking why is the American not good and why is the perception nationally that this is not a very good conference, you look at who you're playing and who you're using those non-conference
Tulane had a couple
spots.
of those, didn't they?
Oh, every team had at least one. And there were a handful of teams that had multiple on their schedule last year. But I think Memphis was the only team in the American last year, maybe excluding one other team, that only played Division I teams in their regular season.
There's a lot of college basketball scheduling news out there.
Oh, yeah. No, a ton coming out into Florida. Florida added another non-conference game today. I mean, their non-conference slate is incredible this year. It's going to be incredibly tough for them. We are in the season of news kind of everywhere in terms of scheduling for college basketball, and it's fun to kind of start looking at this and seeing what some of these non-conference matchups will look like.
It will be.
Yeah, it will. Definitely a lot of news out there. You mentioned it earlier, but the golf news that came out today, Jay Monahan announcing his retirement, stepping down in 2026. You talked about it to open the show, but definitely a big move, and definitely meaning what's ahead for the PGA Tour.
Impacts us. I think our events. It's our biggest event. It's our oldest event, and you have to remember now the Pro-Am Day not as big as it used to be, but that's 4 days, and they don't. There's no turnstiles. There's no crowd count. There's no scan count. I don't even know if you could get a count from a PGA Tour official because it's really hard to do. But I would just 100% guess from me. I would say Thursday 8 or 10,000. Friday 10 or 12. Saturday 15 to 18 to 20 each day. Yeah. Now that may not be different people every time. It might be the same a lot of the same fans a day or two. But that's a huge event, and I don't want I don't want the Memphis tournament to back up another inch. And in fact, as I said earlier, and I'm going to repeat it in Mo's Crunch Time, I'm going to say I want them to the right people and the right ones, the founder, go to the tour and go. We've got to be treated better than this. Whether it's second round, the next to last weekend, which is now the BMW, or that final round. I do think an issue with the final round. I don't think it's very realistic for it to be permanent. I don't want to even try to sell that to people. But a one ever so often.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But a bad thing about that is that weekend this year and a lot of years will be that week one of college football.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that could hurt us.
Yeah.
And would only be 30 players. It'd be 30 players. And you might have thinner Saturday and Sunday crowds for people going off to college football.
Yeah.
And the last lake trip and
all
the dove
thing.
hunting.
All
the dove hunters.
Yeah, dove season.
Lane Kiffin said, 8,000 people go dove hunting?
Well, it's big. Very, very, very popular.
It ain't that big.
No, definitely not. But no, I think you're right. If you can get in the game, ever so often, not every year, but, just every, have some sort of rotation or something, I think that'd be great. And certainly FedEx has been great to the PGA Tour. So it would be nice to kind of have one of the two bigger events of the playoffs here in Memphis. Would definitely be really good. Last thing I wanted to mention during this segment, we're getting closer to the draft. Ace Bailey, it sounds like he is starting to slide down draft boards.
I thought you were talking NHL draft for a second.
No. I will not bore anybody with an
Ace
NHL
Bailey,
draft.
one of the two wonderkins at Rutgers this year.
That's
Didn't
right.
add up to a lot for the team.
No, certainly did not. But was a great player, and now making headlines because supposedly he's not wanting to work out for teams. He is saying that he believes he is a top 3 draft pick.
That won't help you.
And nope, and will not supposedly is not very willing to work out with teams. He's supposed to work out with the 76ers later this week. But it is being reported that this is from CBS Sports. With just over a week to go until one of the most exciting events on the basketball calendar, Bailey has yet to conduct a single known workout to date. So has not worked out for anybody, but will work out for the 76ers, who have the 3rd pick later this week.
And Brian, we talked about it at the time. Contrast it with Jackson Dart and the run-up to the NFL draft. However the Jackson Dart story ends up, it got started on the right way with, I'm playing hurt against our biggest rival, Mississippi State. Yes, I'm playing in the bowl. And at the bowl, no, I'm not coming out early. Hardly could get him out of there when they did. I'm going to Mobile. I'm doing all the throws. I'm going to the combine. I'm doing every drill, every 40 time, everything. In pro day, ask me any question you want to ask. Open book, and that helped him.
Yes, I know. I am always for more rather than less, and it's just starting to seem like a lot of guys are wanting to do less and wanting to give less in terms of their draft preparation. So we'll see what it means.
You better be LeBron James or Kobe Bryant to not want to do more.
That's right. And so I don't know.
How often do they come around?
Very rarely. Very rarely. So I don't know. It already sounds like, once Ace Bailey was projected as the number 2 pick in the draft. Now it feels like he might not even be in the top 4 or 5. I saw one, maybe it was that ESPN draft we mentioned earlier. I think had him at 6 or 7. So it looks like definitely sliding down the board because he really does not want to work out for anybody. Well, we need to get to another break, but before we do that, let me quickly tell you about our friends over at Frontier Western Store. Perfect chance to go down there and check out everything they have to offer. Family owned and operated since 1967, Frontier Western is your one-stop shop for the biggest brands in Western wear. They're the one-stop shop for Carhartt in the Mid-South, but they've also got you covered with plenty of other brands when it comes to shirts, jeans, outerwear, whatever you might need. I mentioned jeans. Do you need a new pair of jeans? Well, Frontier has you covered with all the brands from Ariat all the way down to Wrangler. You'll love how easy it is to find the perfect style and size for you. And at Frontier Western Store, their pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know you'll be getting the best deal. And while you're there, check out their world-famous boot showroom. Whether it's work boots or dress boots, Frontier has you covered for the entire family with plenty of in-stock proven classics like Ariat, Dan Post, and Durango, just to name a few. Head down to 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch and check out the entire selection. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. for Frontier Western Store. Let's get to another break, and when we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Crunch Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. Miramichi is now open on Mondays, and you'll find the lowest rate is on Thursday. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
Spring is in the air, and it's the perfect time to grill, chill, and save with Choates. Install a new generator, tankless water heater, or Carrier HVAC system, and you'll get your choice of a free green egg grill or 36 months no-interest financing. Stay powered during storms, enjoy endless hot water, and slash your cooling costs this summer with a high-efficiency Carrier system, and grill some slow-smoke barbecue on us. But hurry, the special ends soon. And if you're dealing with plumbing or electrical problems, Choates is here for you too. Give us a try and take $60 off your repair. Leaky faucet, clogged drain, broken outlet, lights flickering? Call Choates and save $60 on your plumbing or electrical repair service. Call 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com today. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Humdinger's Taco Tuesday. Enjoy crunchy slaw, grilled fish, and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. $2 tacos all day. The best deal in town.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is Geraldo. It is Crunch Time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskell.
It's obviously Crunch Time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Well, Crunch Time is brought to you each and every afternoon by Moe's and our friends over at Humdinger's. And you got to check out their Humdinger's corporate catering. Enjoy tacos made with crunchy slaw, grilled fish and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. Find out more, call Jenny Nash at 901-606-3172. Well, Brett, what I learned today is that the star for the Indiana Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, was dealing with an injury. He's been dealing with it throughout this entire series, but we know it got worse last night with that calf. and it really changed everything for him. He had kind of struggled before that injury, but it was still very early, still in the first quarter when he went down with that injury, and we saw in the second half the Thunder make adjustments, and you saw late in the third quarter, in that fourth quarter, it was Lou Dort, the guy that had not been guarding him in the first half. They put Lou Dort on him. They saw that this is a guy that's injured. He's not having a great game. Let's make life miserable for him by putting Lou Dort on him, and it really did mess up his flow, and he really couldn't get anything going. Now a must-win game for the Pacers, and we'll see. It sounds like we'll get some more news tomorrow about Tyrese Halliburton. He's getting MRIs on this calf to see what going forward. I always mention our friend in Street Clothes. He said that very rarely does he see an injury that's described like this, where a player doesn't miss time. So definitely something to keep an eye on once we get more information.
And Casey Wallace would switch on him, too, and had some good defensive rotations against Halliburton. Excuse me, Hallie. What I learned today, it was a cheap shot from Stephen A. Smith, but what do you expect? How's running for president going for Stephen A.? Ironic, though, that no large market ever gets that heat. New York City, all good there, really. Subways are almost, you almost can't get on them, and pretty sure I've seen rioting the last few weeks in Los Angeles, but they didn't get any of that heat he wanted to give us.
No, of course not. Well, that's exactly what I could have done without today. Seeing that all over social media, seeing it on ESPN this morning, of just Stephen A. Just really had to make a point to why players don't want to play in Memphis. Again, every city has their issues. Why are we signaling out Memphis? I love what Ja Morant said about it. We talked about his tweets earlier. This is another tweet he said about ESPN and them talking about the Grizzlies instead of the NBA Finals. He said, instead of focusing on the performances we've seen from J-Dub, Shea, TJ, Siakam, how this series is going, we say something negative about a city/team on a national level. Love how Ja Morant responded to all of it today, but definitely cheap stuff from Stephen A. Smith.
It was what I could have done without. I'm very sorry it ended so badly for Jay Monahan. If you can exclude the live part of it, he had a good commissionership, but you just cannot. But I want Memphis to really, with the new commissioner, Brian Rolap, to let them know we want a lot more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Where are you beaming tonight?
Beam me too. Everybody's going to hockey,
Yeah,
aren't
they are.
Landon, unanimous?
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yeah,
let's go.
We're going to hockey tonight. A
handshake, cup in the air tonight, is it? Will it be?
Can see. Who knows? I don't know. Definitely feel
handshake
good
line brawl. I hope so.
That would be fun if we
Cardinals on the south side.
Right.
Hey, Stephen A., how's everything on the south side?
Well,
talk about it.
No, it's there are definitely a lot of places you could be talking about, but had to talk about Memphis today.
Braves tonight playing the Mets 8 under 500.
Oh man, yeah, they're in a tough spot right now. Here's another thing: College World Series tonight, Arkansas and UCLA. It looks like first pitch around 6:30 because of how these games have played out. So definitely a lot to watch tonight, a lot of baseball. You got the hockey out there as well, but that's all the time we have. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South. The size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the